One more month until our baby bird is birthed into the world, Logan. Just popping in to say hey, but this bug hasn't been getting enough sleep for exams and is looking less shiny, but I will be next time.
And we are live! By the way, first of all, thank you, Selmers, for re-upping the sub. And yeah, just 1 month away. Wait, baby bird, though. Birds don't have a 9-month gestation? I could be wrong. But how long is a bird probably different depending on the species. What species of bird are you, Selmers? Because then we might have lots of bird subscription babies. But thank you for re-upping the sub, and Weedle, thank you for the bit. Good luck on the exams. I'm sorry that you haven't been getting enough sleep, but I hope it goes well. Let me catch up a little bit in the chat here. I saw that before I came in, there was a big wall of emotes before I turned emote only off. Chris goes, yay, it off. Hello, Void. Logan is late. I know I'm late again. Today, though, was frantic. So frantic, I was planning on today going to the store and getting the new pair of earbuds, but nope, I'm still on the broken ones from last time, so that'll be fun.
That information is classified, Logan.
I didn't know that taxonomy of birds was classified, but I will take your word for that, Selmers bird expert and Selmers expert that you are, and thank you for the bit. Let's see more emotes from Crystal saying, day 1000 in the void. I started arson and didn't get caught. Oh, because there's fire emotes. Oh, and a riot too. Crystal says, day 5000. I kidnapped a rich kid and got the ransom I needed. Now I'm one of the richest person in the world. See, I could use some money if you could lend me some. Chris said, yay, he live. Jorge says, hello. Radio Robo says, Logan, no. Good to see you. How are you all doing, Crystal and Jorge and Radio Robot? Also, I know Selmers and Weedle here from the TTS messages. Let's see, Crystal says, you look handsome in glasses, Logan. Oh, thank you. I think I've got the, hang on. I've got the dummy pair from those headshots here. I've got these right here. So yeah, I can put these. Is this doing it for anybody out there? Any ladies out there think this is hot? If it is, now would be a really good time to slide into my DMs. Just say like, hey, you hot, yo, and then that would make my day. But okay, all joking aside, here's the cool thing you can do with these glasses. You get the dramatic. Okay, that was really bad. I'm just trying not to hit the microphone. We gotta get glasses reveal with the contemplative pose. But sometimes I almost wish that I had glasses. But I have above average vision. I have 20/10 vision, so I apparently don't need them. Neonfish saying, hey, how you doing, Neonfish? Good to see you. Crystal says, hey, yo, peeps. Flavia saying, hello. How you doing, Flavia and Neonfish? How are the two of you doing? And I hope everybody's doing well. Let's see. Chris says, rest well and take care, Weedle. Burbs. Oreo. Wow, my voice is cracking today. This is not good because I actually have a voiceover acting job tomorrow. Hope that my voice isn't going to be cracking like this tomorrow. Says, so I was looking up some stuff about the country Djibouti. Wait, is that how you pronounce it? Djibouti, the D is silent? When I was in high school, I always said Djibouti. Said, I learned that Djibouti is pretty flat.
Damn, sexy Logan wins the OnlyFans coming out.
Remember, with me, you don't get OnlyFans. You get lonely fans. Plus, I don't think anyone would pay OnlyFans to just see a guy like, oh, this is me? This is me with glasses on. But yes, Oreo, that is fair. Djibouti, or as I like to pronounce it, my booty, is pretty flat. Summer says, booty, Crystal laughing. Neonfish said, did you learn about Lake? I'm not even going to say that because that looks like that's another more dirty way of saying but. Okay, I'm going to load up the game now because here, Tomcat. That's probably, telling me to get into the game because we're 6 minutes in and we've just been staring at a loading screen. I'm sure all the lurkers have left. Because it's like, this guy doesn't play games. So let's fade this music down. And let's load up the game. So where we last left off, excuse me, we're in Chapter 3, Turnabout Serenade. We discover the body of Romain Letouce, and we did a bunch of investigating. There was about a 20-minute stretch where I had no idea what I was doing because the game was being a b-hole. And then we just came here to the Gaviners. We're hanging out with Why am I spacing on his name? Clavier. There we go. Clavier and our new shark boy friend. Not a boyfriend, but a shark boy who is a friend, not a shark who is a boyfriend. Those are two very different things. And he taught us how to do, like, mixing, which will probably come in handy in the trial somehow. And we also discovered that everything that happened was laid out in the song lyrics that Clavier had written. My guess is, I do have a guess, my guess is that it was orchestrated by whoever did this to frame Clavier to say, like, hey, he's the one who wrote these lyrics. Everything worked. It must have been him who did it. I think the killer, I do have a theory. I think the killer is our new shark boy, friend. Shark boy, what's his name? Darian. I think he shot through the window, like he had the gun and shot it through the window that was too small to get through. I think the first hit was the one who hit Romain Latouche. I think the reason he fired the second time is I think the mute kid was in there and he ran away and scurried up through the vent to escape. So that is my current theory, based on nothing but the number of people and their relative sizes to each other. So, yeah, let's do a song's prediction.
Oh. Look, just think about everything that's happened to Mr. Gavin. Let's list them in order that they occurred. While reading this lyric sheet.
First, the key ring was stolen.
And not just any key ring, a heart-shaped key ring.
That's right here! When you stole away the keys, my heart held on to so tight. But where's the sugar come into play? Was there a lot of sugar earlier? This is a heart holding keys!
And next is his guitar burst into flame.
Burning on in my heart fire, burn my love away.
And then Mr. Latouche was killed.
Like a bullet of love, fire, take my life away. But that's crazy!
Yeah, no kidding.
And we did get rid of the gargling voice for this guy. It was too hard to maintain. Is everything that happened today here? This song predicted it all? Or perhaps it was the other way around. Huh? The criminal could have based his crime on the lyrics. But who would go through all that trouble? Someone who moves in mysterious ways, no doubt. I believe you stumbled upon something quite vital and quite annoying, Fräulein.
Yeah, I'm quite annoying.
She looks pleased. The lyrics predicted the crime. Clavier. Seems a bit more than just a coincidence to me. I have to agree. The keyring, the guitar, and the murder. The keyring might have been dropped by accident. Oh, sorry, that was me saying the keyring might have been dropped by accident. Yet the victim was holding it. Hard to think it was unconnected. That's true. Prosecutor Gavin's as calm and collected as ever.
So the criminal matched their actions to the lyrics?
That sounds likely. Why would anyone do that? Well, we think about that. I'm gonna get crack-a-lackin' on the biggest crime here. The fact that my hair isn't even bigger. I'm gonna talk to the Borginian embassy about this Mr. Latouche. Wasn't Borginia one of the countries, one of the two countries in Edgeworth investigation? Am I remembering this wrong? Ah, right. Thanks, Darian. You'll be a dear. Go take care of that. You make my hair bounce. I'll leave the pondering of mysteries to you. I'm out of here. Wait, what is that on his ring? Is that a snake's face? It looks like a cobra's head or something with the fan out thing wrapped around his finger. But it's got to be like shark themed, right? Maybe it's an eel. A foreign national, Mr. Latouche, was killed. It seems like that would have to be the point of all of this. But they did more than that. They left us with not only a murder, but a mystery.
Mr. Gavin sure is irritable today.
And maybe this is the real Prosecutor Gavin we don't get to see in the courtroom. I've had enough, frankly. If you find any more mysteries, do me a favor and keep them to yourself, yeah? Yeah. Hey, well, I guess it's all we're gonna get from Prosecutor Gavin. It leaves Le Miroir to question. Prosecutor Gavin, do you know where Le Miroir is now? I had her go to my dressing room. Wait, to your dressing room? Oh, because hers is a crime scene. That's right. With that pianist visitee, Machi Tobai, of course. She seemed rather shocked by Mr. Latous's sudden passing. Shouldn't we be telling him the final words of Latouche about how the witness was like a siren or something like that? The governor's dressing room, got it! I'm gonna listen to some of this music for just a moment while we read a little bit in the chat. In fact, I'm gonna turn up the music a little bit. It seems awfully quiet today for some reason. Turn it just a few notches. There we go. Crap, where did I leave off? Krista was going, yay! Oreo said, I did not learn about Lake. Again, I'm not gonna say it. I feel like that's a trick to say a dirty word. Chris says, the classic removing of glasses. Neon Fish says, I'm doing well. Been artistically unmotivated lately, though, so I need to get my keister in gear and finish up some pages. Do any of you guys have, like, tips or tricks for when you guys get kind of artistic block? I feel like the only thing I can really do is just either A, force myself to just do stuff and to do crappy stuff until I get back in the groove, or B, distract, take a break, procrastinate, and then just let the situation snowball until it gets worse and worse and worse. Flavia said, I'm fine. A little sore from rowing practice. How are you? Wait, are you on a rowing team? Flavia, that's awesome. I mean, unless you're practicing something else, but you also just row there. Like you go to soccer practice, but you have to take a canoe there, and so there's lots of rowing. But that's really cool. Like the kinds that you see in the movies where there's everybody lined up and they're like, stroke, 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 and they're all doing it in unison. That'd be kind of cool. Okay, I'll read some more in a minute. We gotta get to heading out of here. So we gotta move back to the backstage hallway. And then from there, July 7th, the backstage hallway. What's this guy again? Who's there? And he just disappears again. We gotta brainstorm a voice for that guy by the time he finally sticks around. Yeah, there he goes again! Who is that guy? See, Trucy knows, but she's not telling us. Trucy, be my friend, tell me. Huh? Trucy! I mentioned last time, my theory is, I think that's her... I can't remember if this was my theory last time or my new theory afterward, but I think that's her biological father.
You know, he did look sort of familiar.
So, was he a friend of yours?
No, that's not it. Sorry, I don't remember.
Curiouser and curiouser. That's totally the type of thing Apollo would say. All right, so we got to go into Gaviner's dressing room. July 7th, Gaviner's dressing room.
Lamoire!
What? She speaks? I thought she didn't speak English. She had to have an interpreter. That was the whole point of Romaine Latouche. And we were going to have everything she said was just going to be rada rada, like on Chowder. Rada rada, rada rada. I mean, we can still do that, but it'll probably be really annoying for anyone who's not looking at the screen. So I don't know what her voice should be then. If we'd out here like rada rada, it'd be like, what has happened? But that doesn't seem like that'd be a good voice. We're going to stick with it right now. Rada rada. Rada rada, Mr. Latouche has died, rada rada. Lamoire, you speak? Well, she always spoke, but she just didn't speak English. I mean, you speak English. Yes. I was invited here from the Republic of Borginia, but I am not Borginian by birth.
But wasn't Mr. Latouche your interpreter?
Yes, well, it was Mr. Latouche's idea. He thought it would add to the mystery, you see. Then your pianist is also... Oh, is he not really blind? No, Machi Tobai is Borginian. Because there's got to be... Okay, there's got to be a pun with this name. We don't have weird in the chat. Machi Tobai has, like, I in there. Machi Tob... Machi Tobai? There's something in there. He does not speak English. Now please tell me, what has happened to Mr. Latouche? Why did he?
Actually, Mr. Latouche was...
Trucy!
Huh?
Remember what Prosecutor Gavin said? Not a word!
But Mr. Latouche is Lamoire's manager. That's not fair to her. I mean, isn't she a related party?
precisely who Prosecutor Gavin doesn't want to alert, I suspect. I should have said whom, but I say who. Let me read just a little more in the chat. Oh, doesn't look like there's too much in the chat. I might actually catch up right away. Let's see. Crystal doing the OnlyFans command. Flavia says, perfect German accent. Oh, thank you. I feel like I kind of slip in and out of it a bit. Like it keeps wanting to turn into French or something. But thank you, Flavia. That's really nice of you. Crystal says, art blocks? Trace drawings that I would delete later and art dump. See, I envy people who have that type of artistic ability to like just draw stuff. You can just create things. It's amazing. Jorge says, I usually practice something else. If I'm blocked with piano, I go to drawing. If I'm blocked with drawing, I go to piano. If I'm blocked with both, thank you, Tomcat. You're only getting in one ear though, because the other ear is broken. But thank you, Tomcat. Jorge says, if I'm blocked with both, poetry until I feel inspired. Really? I know Rukov writes a lot of poetry. I didn't know you did poetry too. That's awesome. Good, glad to hear it, Jorge. You got multiple talents. Oh, and it's Apple who did the Tomcat going boo. Don't say boo. That's scary and almost a boob. But Apple, how you doing? Good to have you here. I'll read some more in the chat in just a minute. And just so you know, Apple, it's so far the chat's been a little bit sleepy since I started. Like right when I began, everybody was like talking and chatting. It was really cool. And then I'm like, all right, begin the game. And now everybody is asleep, which is totally fine. I'm just letting you know, Apple, that if you don't hear a lot of people saying hi and excited to see you, they're still here. We are still excited to see you.
Rukov pretends to make poetry, or he isn't really good at it.
I've seen you make poetry. If you only pretended, then you were very good at pretending because you tricked me enough when you showed me the poetry that you wrote. But thank you for the bit, Rukov. And again, Apple, good to see you. How are you doing? How was your... It's been a little while. How was your Christmas and New Year's? I hope you had a good winter season. Anyway, precisely whom Prosecutor Gavin doesn't want to alert, I'd suspect. All we've been told is to wait here in this room. It's very unsettling. I'm sorry, we're trying to figure it out ourselves. You think I could ask you some questions? Of course, I'm always willing to help. She's as calm as she looked on stage. Can't put my finger on why, but I like this Lamoire. Yeah, I think it's because of the exposed collarbones. I don't know, I'm trying to think what Apollo's thing would be that would make him like a woman. Oh, Machi's gonna get the Rado voice then. So in that case, we do need to think of a different voice for Lamoire. I guess she could be French, but then I'd probably have a hard time switching back and forth between her and Gavin. If anybody has suggestions for Lamoire's voice and or accent, please let me know. Rado. What is it, Machi? Rado. What? But you'd be alone. Rado. What seems to be the problem? Oh, sorry. What seems to be the problem? Machi, he's not good around strangers. He wishes to go out for a breath of fresh air. Would that be all right? Sure. Of course. Bye. Oh, there we go. Very well. What is it you wished to ask me about? Something's going on with Machi. I think Machi was the witness, which also makes sense dramatically speaking because it would be harder to get information out of Machi if Machi don't speak English and the only person who speaks Borginian, well, I guess Lamoire speaks Borginian. She just had a conversation with Machi. Wait, but how did Machi understand what she was saying? They were doing a full Chewbacca thing. Not only did she understand Machi understood hers. They both speak both languages. Hey lady, check us out. Check out my badge. Hey, would you mind taking a look at this, Lamoire? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what to say. I wish I could help you. Don't worry about it. Darn it! Shot down with my badge. Certainly one of the most pleasant refusals I've had. Okay, so let's talk to her then. Talk! We've already examined everything in the room. Lamoire! Republic of Borginia, that's in Northern Europe, right?
I never even heard of it.
I started out singing in a restaurant. Then a producer called me. Before I knew it, here I am.
You don't say. You know, my daddy plays piano in a restaurant.
Yeah, producers tend to look for talent, Trucy. Lamoire, you're not from Virginia originally? Were you born here?
Well,
Oh, is it supposed to be a secret?
Image is everything when you're a star. I know a bit about that, of course. Okay.
Yes, it is something like this. A contract, you might say. I'm also not to speak anything but Borginese in public.
Image is important, I guess, but thirst is everything. Obey your thirst, sprite.
She's not all Image, though. Her songs are lovely. A real landscape painter in sound.
A painter in what?
She travels the world, turning the sights she sees into music. That's the secret to your music's beauty, right?
You are very perceptive.
Oh, I use your songs all the time in my stage act.
Don't tell her that! You're gonna have to pay her money now! That is copyrighted music! You were using it to make money!
I don't have to pay royalties for that, do I?
You stop while you're ahead, Trucy.
This landscape painter in sound, too, is an image. Yet without it, my songs would not be so widely heard.
They even call you the siren of the ballad, right?
Oh, so she's the witness then! Siren! Because that's what Romain Latou said. The witness is Siren. Unless Machi is another siren or something like that. Let me read a little bit more in the chat here. Let's see. Crystal says, ooh, yes, poetry too. Apple says, hi, everyone. Again, good to see you, Apple. I hope life's been treating you good. Crystal laughing. Apple said, I've been good, but today it just went down the drain when I left my phone on the bus by mistake. No, oh, that is the worst. And it's like this feeling of panic, like you feel just exposed when you don't have your phone with you. Said, I just really hope I can get it tomorrow. I hope so too. Hopefully, whoever drives the bus maybe does a sweep of it and finds it, puts it in lost and found. Like this is one of the students will hold on to. Wait, was it a public bus or was it like a school bus? Either way, I hope so. I hope you're able to get it, Apple. Rukov says, hey, Apple. Apple says, hello. Chris says, according to Google, Machi to buy is much to buy. Much to buy. It's interesting. So, I don't think we have anything to go off. I'm sure Rukov has already cracked the lid off of this whole mystery and figured out everything. See, Oreo says, gonna be watching while I do some homework now. Well, thank you for the lurk, Oreo. I hope we don't distract you too much from the homework. I hope we enhance your homework experience, maybe even like give you answers to your questions. What type of homework is it? If it's math, I'll just start shouting out answers every now and then, or equations, and maybe they'll help and maybe they won't. But anyway, I'll go back to the game for right now. I'll read some more of the chat in a little bit.
Yes, in Borginese, la mémoire means the siren. I fear that perhaps already I am not the siren I once was.
Machi!
Your pianist with a T. Machi, was it? He's cute, like a porcelain doll.
He's very European.
The answer is x equals 7.
There you go. There's your answer, Oreo. You heard it straight from the mind of Jorge through the lips of TTS girl and ricocheted off of me for an echo. X equals 7. And if it doesn't equal 7 or doesn't seem to, then that's the equation's fault because TTS girl must be right. And thank you, Jorge, for the bit. I appreciate that.
I met him while singing in restaurants in Borginia.
Once again, Spanish and Avid, with some biology sprinkled in there.
Okay, well, in that case, if it's, so Spanish and Avid again. So if it's Spanish, let's see. So it's x equals siete. Is that right? I remember I learned how to count to like 12 in Spanish from Sesame Street. So, except I don't know what the word for x or equals is in Spanish. I have failed you. But with the biology sprinkled in, mitosis. The mitochondria is the power plant of the cell. There you go.
I met him while singing in restaurants in Borginia. He is an orphan, because I killed his parents. Don't blame me, it's legal in Borginia to kill parents to create orphans, yet his playing is exquisite. Soon he came to live with me.
It's like a fairy tale, almost.
I noticed he hardly leaves.
Oh yeah, I noticed he hardly leaves your side.
Yes, well, he is blind. At first, I hesitated at dragging him across the world. He doesn't speak English either.
He doesn't speak English either, does he? But he understands it.
He had never left Borginia before we met. I made his presence part of my contract. Machi and I together are l'amour. Together, always.
It's a bit obsessive of some random kid you met in a restaurant.
Mr. Latouche was my new manager.
No!
Yes, my last one got murdered too, exact same way. Never found the killer. But my fingerprints were all over the place, but I promise I did not do it. Yes, from 3 months ago, around when I received Mr. Gavin's invitation to come. I met Mr. Latouche at my office. He was to be my manager and bodyguard, and as it turned out, my interpreter.
Interpreter? Even though you speak English?
Yes, but we were to visit more places than just here. We had a concert in Japan scheduled after this one. Though I fear that may have to be cancelled now.
Wasn't Mr. Latouche from the Republic of Borginia too?
Well, he was only with me for 3 months. I'm afraid there is much I do not know about him. And now, I shall never know. No one will even tell me why he has died.
I'm sorry. Prosecutor Gavin said we weren't to talk to anyone.
Mr. Latouche was a talented man. The siren of the ballad. That phrase was his idea, you know. I am happy for him that it has become so well known.
Well, the siren. Oh, that's what he meant. You're just now picking up on this, Apollo?
Huh? Apollo?
You are the siren, right, Lamoir?
That is the meaning of my name in Borginese, yes.
Except she just said both her and Machi are Lamoir. And so she doesn't know what's going on. I mean, if she was a witness who wasn't a murderer, she would have told us already. So she's probably not the witness is Machi. I was right. Machi was a witness. We're going to have a hard time communicating. The second shot was probably firing to him. He scurried away and then climbed up through the vents and escaped that way. So, and he just, Mr. Latouche was being needlessly vague by doing it by saying the siren when it could apply to either of them.
It was the name my producer gave me, but why do you ask?
It's very important. I had to know for sure if the siren was you.
What do you mean important?
I'll tell you. You deserve to know. Let me read a little bit more in the chat, by the way. Crap, let's see, where did I leave off? See, Jorge says, my poetry is just whatever I feel. I don't rhyme anything. So it's like, what do we call it? Free verse, right? I think that's what it is. I feel like I can't do free verse. I need structure. The way I look at it, because I've mentioned numerous times before, my main creative outlet is I perform improv on the weekends. And I know some people who want as little as possible given to them as an audience suggestion when they improvise a scene, and have it be super, super vague, just the word purple or something like that. And then they create something. And usually when you see those people do it, it always takes them a while to crank up the speed and get to, it's I don't like that. With my creativity, I like to have whatever prompt I'm getting be like a springboard trampoline that I just run, hit, and bounce off of and go right into. And I feel I wouldn't be able to do free verse poetry because it's too many options. It's I need it narrowed down. I need, okay, give me some structure. Let me know it's this, and then I'll just dive right into that thing. So my hat is off to you, Jorge, if you can do free verse poetry. That type of stuff is probably a bit beyond my structure craving type of creativity. Apple says, it was my school bus, so I think I'll be able to get it. Okay, I hope it works out, Apple. And again, it's good to see you, and I hope you're able to get your phone back. Or it says, I'm actually writing some pieces for a thing in Portland. I'm going to submit them and hopefully get noticed. Hopefully they get noticed. Awesome. Well, I'm rooting for you, Jorge. I hope so too. If they do, let us know. Chris says, what if the homework is statistics, Logan? Well, hopefully I've demonstrated from the Omori stream that I can do statistics. I just don't like doing statistics. Okay, I'll read some more in a minute, but let's keep going with this. So now we need to talk to her about the siren. The siren. Turns out that's a very important word in this case.
Ow!
When we found Mr. Latouche, he was still alive.
What?
I heard him say something. His last words. Mr. Latos, can you hear me?
Ask witness.
Hang in there, Mr. Latos. Tell me, who was the witness?
The witness is Siren.
He said siren? Really?
I was the only one there to hear it, but I'm sure that's what he said.
Mr. Latou said that. Ask the witness.
Well, you should probably have a better idea what he meant, right? So let's just stop beating around the bush here. It's gonna be Machi, right? And you're the siren, Lamoire. Did you see what happened? Huh? Lamoire.
Might I ask, are you with the police?
Yeah, well, no, I'm a defense attorney. Oh, she's gonna be our client, isn't she? She probably realizes that she's gonna be accused of murder. She probably was a witness and hasn't been saying anything because she feels like she'll be accused of murder. She's gonna be our client, yeah?
An attorney? Yet there have been no arrests, yes?
Is that a problem?
Does an attorney not work for a client? If you have no client, you should leave the investigation to the police, I think.
Oh, okay, so maybe she's not our client.
But Lamoire, we...
I am sorry, but I cannot answer your questions. I'm afraid you lack the authority to ask them.
Why? If she witnessed the crime, why won't she tell us?
I believe we are through here.
I believe so. Can I present stuff to her? I'm gonna point a gun at you. Oh wait, crap, I gotta actually go out and hit the present button. Present! Present gun! Gun! Boo. Okay, so we gotta just leave. There'll probably be something out in the hallway, I bet. Some crazy, we're probably gonna see that guy in the yellow outfit again. One's gonna, oh no! So where are we supposed to go then? We can go to Lamoire's dressing room or the stage. Let's try her dressing room real quick. Nothing new, so I guess we just gotta go backstage? If there's nothing backstage, then apparently something that we can present to her maybe will actually be important, because these are the only areas we got. Nope. So we gotta go back and we gotta present something to her to convince her to tell us, I suppose? Governor's dressing room. So what do we have? We've got, we'll just go through everything. Oh, maybe we can present the lyrics and say, hey, these lyrics traced out the crime. Bah. Not saying anything. Okay, we're just gonna go through everything. Your little postcard thing. Taking a look at this. Nope, nope, nope. What was this? Oh, the investigation request! That's right, I forgot. We got this to show that we're allowed to investigate on behalf of, was it Prosecutor Gavin? Investigation request to ensure the efficiency and secrecy of our investigation. The bearer is hereby ordered to speak to no one outside the investigation concerning any details of the case. District Police Chief. So maybe that's what she wants. She wants to make sure that we're not gonna go blabbing to someone else. And if we show this, she'll realize that it's safe to talk to us. Nope! Wow, that was a whole lot of me thinking about it for nothing. Maybe we can show the, oh, because this was hers, right? Ah, here we go. Yeah, that reminds me. Does this brooch look familiar to you?
My brooch, yes, well, it may be mine.
Yours, Lamoire?
I was wearing a brooch earlier, you see. I must have lost it.
Well, that explains the brooch we found. It was Lamoire's.
Thank you. I was wondering where I dropped it.
So this brooch belongs to her. That begs the question.
Is something wrong, Apollo?
What was this brooch doing at the crime scene? Maybe there's more we can talk to her about now. What does the brooch do? No! Apparently not. So we gotta keep presenting stuff. Okay, we already tried the gun. Let's try the keys. Nothing. Let's see. Let me glance over the chat. Hori says, I got you, Oreo. Hori says, oh, Spanish, in which case, rojo equals red. I do think I'd heard that, except I thought rojo meant like rose-colored red. It's just red. Also, frambuesa equals raspberry. But does raspberry in Spanish also mean like it does in English as well? That'd be kind of cool if they both had that similar type of meaning. Because frambuesa does sound like much better for kind of a thing. Okay, and that's everything. That's everything to present. There's nobody to talk to. Okay, so in that case, we gotta go backstage hallway. Oh, finally. Okay, so we just had to present the brooch so that Apollo would be suspicious before we move on to the next area. July 8th, 12:22 a.m. backstage hallway. Once again, we need to get a better voice for Lammerwire. If anyone has any suggestions, I would be eager to take them. Whoa, who's there now?
It's you. Where were you?
Ah, Emma! Is something wrong? She looks grumpier than usual. How did Emma become such a grumpy person? Like, grumpier than usual? She has been very off-puttingly grumpy this entire game.
You bet something's wrong. The impossible happened. It's all your fault, you know.
Oops, maybe this is about us leaving the crime scene?
What do you mean by impossible?
Oh, let me guess, the body's gone?
Oh, here we go. Well, it's gone. Utterly gone. What's gone? The body is stupid. What else?
I was right!
Eh? Mr. Latusa's body has disappeared. What?
July 8th, Lammerwire's dressing room.
Ah, Prosecutor Gavin! Okay, let me read a few more comments in the chat. Let's see, Oreo says, mostly, quote, why does DNA use thymine while RNA uses uracil? I'm not sure how to pronounce that right. Type of biology. I have no idea, actually. Yeah, no clue on that. So, Oreo, good luck. Horace says, dang, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Isn't gonna help me with that. I don't even know if that's right. Something was the power plant, powerhouse. Something is the power plant of the cell. Mitochondria is all I could think of. See, Flavia says in nerdy voice, actually, the mitochondria is the site of cell respiration. Okay, so what's the power plant or powerhouse or whatever of the cell? There's something in there. I think it's like a squiggly thing that kind of comes away from the nucleus. Perhaps, but I'm probably wrong. It's been a long time since I've taken any biology classes, but I'm happy to be schooled by y'alls. Yeah, Prosecutor Gavin. I'll read some more in the chat in a minute. From your vacant stare, I gather that you've heard the news. I heard Mr. Latusa's body has gone missing. Look for yourself. Are we finally gonna try and figure out what he wrote on the ground in blood? Quite the pickle. Quite period. The period. Pickle. Huh?
Endoplasmic reticulum. Is that what you're talking about there?
Maybe? That doesn't sound familiar, but if that's the correct answer, I'll pretend it's the correct answer, so yes? Maybe? Oreo, thank you for the bit. Endoplasmic reticulum. I have something I get to look up later and find out more about. How can you just stand there? Oh, and thank you very much for the bit, Oreo, in case I gotta say. How can you just stand there? We have to start the investigate. There's no need for alarm for a line detective. Huh? All entrances and exits have been sealed. The body will not leave the building. So I suggest we go find ourselves a cadaver. Clavier and the cadaver. There will be plenty of time to ponder the whys later.
Well, you seem pretty sure of yourself, Mr. Gavin.
Well, but I mean, even if the body doesn't leave, it could be disposed of. It could be chopped up into bits and flushed down a toilet or mixed into some chemical acid slurry like in Breaking Bad, like put into a bathtub or something like that. Oh, we'll find him. I'm rather enjoying this. How come Mr. Latusa's body just disappeared?
Well, you heard the man. Let's get searching.
Hey, I don't know if this is exactly the right time, but I feel I have things I need to tell you guys about my feelings. Things I haven't told anyone. I've been waiting for just the right moment to tell you about. And well, with everybody gathered here, I think I found the right time.
Yes, Darian. Glancing down almost looked like he was saying, yeah, darling.
See, Gator's gone missing.
It was in the dressing room. Oh, was that one of their guitars? Question mark?
Geeter? Who's Geeter?
That's what I call my guitar. You like, man?
Your guitar was stolen.
This hasn't been a good day for guitars or Geeters.
Okay. Wait, why did I give her Trucy's voice? This hasn't been a good day for guitars or Geeters. Was there anything else in this, like at the end of the song that talked about a guitar? Guitar, up together to the sky. So maybe that's the last one. So his guitar, because if that wasn't referring to the guitar that Gavin had that was on fire, then it's probably backstage, like up in the rafters or something like that. It's somewhere high up. That's our clue, and that's the last part of the song. Okay, body first, then guitar. And if someone finds that guitar, please bring it to our dressing room.
Geeter's like a missing person, not lost and found, man.
Okay, we have things to talk to Emma about. Disappearing act. First of all, is there any extra piece of evidence that we found that we should be presenting to her? I mean, I guess the this thing? Sort of, probably not. Emma, can you take a look at this? Just hold it right there. This is no time to be waving a, nope. No time to be waving a bag of snackoos in my face. I was not snackooing in your face. That's not a bag of snackoos. Look, what's important is Mr. Latusse's body is missing. And we gotta find it. She'd be more convincing if she wasn't standing around eating her precious snackoos. Okay. Let me read a little bit more in the chat. Let's see. Crystal going, Lamoire has the right to remain silent. Well, I mean, she does. She does. That is true. Usually people use that right when talking to the police. The fact that I'm not the police seems like that's not the type of instance that you usually use your right to remain silent, but I'm not a lawyer, so what do I know? Oreo says, I'm happy to say that La something d'Espagnol is finished. Oh, I'm guessing that's the Spanish homework or the work or something like that. Congratulations. So you just need Avid and your biology, and then you're all done. Chris says, Clavier is ready to punch someone for real, for real. Well, a moment ago he said he's enjoying this, so maybe he's getting into it. But then again, maybe he enjoys punching people. I don't know. Oreo says, yes, a body flushed down the toilet, because a body could definitely fit down a toilet. I said chopped up first. But then I realized there are bones, and the bones probably wouldn't go down the toilet. So that's why you melt them into an acid slurry. Just make sure that you have a sturdy enough bathtub first. That was the mistake they made in Breaking Bad. I'll read some more in a minute, but let's keep going with this. So, was there anything else that we found? Have we shown her the keys? She's probably just gonna keep eating her snackoos. Yeah, bag of snackoos. Okay, fine, let's talk to her about disappearing act. And let's see, where is it? Talk. Disappearing act. Well, this sure is a, what did he call it? A sausage? A pickle? That's like a very common phrase in English. Why are you acting like he's saying some type of foreign idiom? No, wait, it was a pickle, and it's your pickle. Your pickle is awful, Apollo Justice. Apollo, I hate your pickle. Your pickle is just wrinkly and shriveled and will never satisfy anyone who wants a pickle. I told you to stay in the room. Sorry, not much else I can say. It's all right. Top priority now is finding that body. You can make it up to me later. Oh, I'm playing with my hair, thinking about ways that you and your disappointing pickle can make it up to me. 10 bags or so of chocolate snackoos should do the trick nicely. How is she still so, like, thin? All she does is snackoo. You should watch his sugar intake, Emma. She must still have, like, a really high metabolism or something. If we look over here, can we examine, like, where the body used to be? Maybe we'll find some more evidence on the ground. There should be a body here, but there's not! How could this have happened, and why? We finally look at the bloody writing? The 45 caliber revolver, very deadly.
You know, Apollo, I was wondering, what's a caliber? What's the 45 mean?
Huh?
Hey, you want me to tell you? It's the size of the barrel.
Did we have this conversation last time? Simply put, the larger the caliber, the bigger the round. The bullet, in other words. Bigger bullets do more damage. Oh, chalk one up for forensic science. You know it!
Huh. But it's not 45 inches, right? That'd be too long. What's the unit of measurement they use, Ms. Science? Well,
I would assume, but it's already written as like, always as 0.45, so maybe, 0.45 centimeters?
hush, kids shouldn't ask so many questions.
But that would be really small, half a centimeter? Maybe it's like just, I don't know what it is. Okay, so we gotta go look for the bodies. So let's move out of here. I don't think there's anything else. Let's head backstage. My guess is body's gonna be up in the rafters. We're probably gonna run into Yellow Top Hat Man again. Oh no, we haven't. Okay, let's go up to backstage area. This stage, huh?
It's millimeters.
Okay, so is it not 0.40? So then it's just 45 millimeters, which would be 4.5. Wait, no. Is 10 millimeters make a centimeter? Yeah? And then 10 centimeters make a decameter? And 10 decameters make a meter? I think? Something like that. But thank you, Theo. Oh, Theo is here. Thank you for the bit, Theo. I should have known our resident gun expert would have the answer for us. How are you doing, Theo?
July 8th, 12:57 a.m. in the wings.
Were those spotlights on last time? The stage looks a little bit different. Was that thing raised up before? I can't remember.
Does something seem different to you, Apollo?
Yeah, something is definitely different here.
Let's check it out!
Okay, examine the different thing right here.
That stage there must have been lowered before.
That's the tower that Lamar and Prosecutor Gavin was singing on. So once again, guitar up in the sky. It's the last part of the lyrics from the song. So whoever did the killing had to steal the guitar and put it up there.
Someone must have raised it. I don't see a way to control it from here. Apollo, what about that ladder there against the wall?
We just gonna keep talking about ladders?
We could use that to take a look up top.
Yeah, maybe we should get him up.
What are you talking about? We have to see this sort of thing for ourselves.
I'm not so good with heights.
Stop whining and start climbing.
Arg. Wait, so it didn't look that high from below, really. Oh, but when we got to the top, I felt every one of those 20 feet down. Of course, I wasn't thinking about the height anymore. Not after what we found up there. Oh, is the body, or is it just the guitar?
Yay!
We found two things we were looking for, and one thing we never expected to find.
Is not even 45 millimeters. It's like around 11.40 millimeters.
Wait, how can 0.45 millimeters be over 11 millimeters? Or do you mean that's 11.4 centimeters? I'm very confused, but I will trust that you know what you're talking about. But thank you for the bit. Okay, so we found the body is up there. The guitar is up there. We have to figure out what the third thing is. I'm guessing it's another body. It's either Lamoureux or Machi. Would make more sense if it's Lamoureux, but then who would be our defendant? Who would be like accused of murder? Lamoureux is probably going to be accused of murder. That's why, because like her brooch was there. They could do the type of thing where Clavier is accused and we're defending him, kind of like we do with Edgeworth at the end of the first game. But we're not at the end yet. Why would we don't want to do that too soon, right? But that's my guess. It's going to be Latous's body, the guitar, and another body, Lamoureux. Because it's not going to be Machi. They're not going to kill a kid. They kill a kid? We've played a lot of games where they kill kids, but I feel like this isn't the type where they would kill a kid. Ah, they killed a kid! What's up with Machi's shoes? He looks like a boy who will dance telling you about berries and cream. At least Romain Latouche looks like he's rocking out the body, guitar in hand, and the pianist with a T, Machi Tobai. He's not necessarily dead, though. He could just be sleeping without the soul in his body. Let me read a little bit more in the chat. Let's see. Chris says, so Logan want a chop shop body case? I don't want one. I'm just saying one would be very convenient. Am I wrong? Let's see. Theo says, hello everyone. There's where Theo popped in. Again, good to see you, Theo. And thank you very much for the clarification on the caliber stuff. I feel like we're I feel like I'd be able to do better as a lawyer in these types of cases if I had your knowledge of firearms. Crystal says, I always laugh at Darian's name every time. It reminds me of durian, which is like a stinky, smelly, but delicious fruit here in the Philippines. I don't know if I've ever had that. I might have to look up that. But does it taste good if it's stinky and smelly? Is it at least good, stinky, smelly?
0.45 rounds are referred to 0.45 ACP, but the round size is not 45 millimeters. It's 11.43 by 23 millimeters.
Okay, I got you there. Again, this is all new to me, so I have no idea. So thank you very much for all the interesting trivia, Theo. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the bit. Let's see, Machi Tobai. Oh, and is that the end? The end. Bad ending. Kid. I mean, we're just like the next day at the Write Anything office, and Truth is like, well, we couldn't stop a child from dying, so you probably aren't going to be a good lawyer.
July 8th, 10:09 a.m., Write Anything Agency.
Wow, that concert last night sure went south in a hurry.
No kidding. Why'd they arrest Machi? Why?
Oh, okay, so Machi is alive. And this is the same bullcrap that like Gumshoe would always pull. It's like whoever's in closest proximity is suddenly the killer. The child knocked out is not who you think. For one thing, how could a kid that size have carried that gargantuan body up there? And second of all, you're not going to ask who knocked him out, why he was passed out up there? Emma's as bad as Gumshoe. And don't look at me like it's my fault. Machi Tobai, the blind pianist with the T. Arrested on suspicion of murdering Romaine Latouche.
I can't believe such a cute little boy could do something so horrible.
I guess they had proof of some kind.
What proof could possibly prove that?
Morning. Oh, you're great. Just let yourself in. Clappy hair. It's like Kramer on Seinfeld. Just like, I'm just popping in. Oh, hey. Look. I just realized something. Check this out. I didn't notice before. But look at this guy right here. Right here in the picture on the wall. Add a little mustache to him. I bet that is the guy in the yellow hat. So again, I think that's probably Trucy's biological father. Or at least maybe like a magician mentor of some kind that she had. I'm going to go with biological father. That's probably him, but like with little mustache. So there we go. That's why she's like, he looks familiar. Okay, let me read just a little bit more in the chat because I miss reading in the chat. I've been trying not to do too much of it because chat is kind of sleepy tonight, and I don't want to catch up too early. You know what? Whatever. I'll catch up. I see Crystal says, hey to Theo. Theo says, hello to Crystal. Crystal says, a body is missing. But why? Chris said, yep, it's 4.5 centimeters. So at least my math was good, even if my knowledge of guns wasn't, huh?
Man in the yellow hat. We got Curious George up in here?
Maybe that's going to be the big twist at the end. Is that Trucy was a curious little monkey all along. Except Curious George, I don't think he was an actual monkey because he didn't have a tail, right? So that would mean he was an ape rather than a monkey. But the theme song to the cartoon show was always like, Curious Little Monkey. But that's going to be the big reveal. She is actually a shaved ape that was Curious George's sidekick there. So yes, we will go with that theory, Rukov. I think you are right, because you're always right in your theories. Let's see, Chris says, oh well, rip. Chat is eerily quiet. It is, but you know, there are sometimes days like this. I think a lot of people are probably busy. Last time was nice and hopping. But yeah, it happens. Just as long as I at least have someone to talk to. If I have no one, then I'll be like one of those fairies in Peter Pan, where if nobody believes in the fairy, then the fairy dies. With me, it's like if I have nobody to talk to, then I die. So I don't want that to happen. Don't let my blood be on your conscience. Says, durian smells horrible, but it's delicious, so worth it. Oh, that's good then. Theo says, I like to believe Flavier was in the room the entire time and was trying to quiet down the music. Huh?
Logan being self-pedantic about Monkey and Shem.
Wait. How was that self-pedantic that I was being? Maybe. But isn't that the difference? Like monkeys have tails and apes don't? I'm no monkey doctor, so I don't know. Because I like that idea that he was just standing there and like waiting, and they're talking. Is like, or you know what? Yusei was trying to quiet down the music. I think he was waiting. It's like, hold on, I'm having a hard time finding the right track on my song. Oh, there we go. There, Guilty Love. Good morning, everyone. See, Chris says, let's examine the picture. Oh, we should examine the picture. Good idea. Okay, I'll check some more in the chat in a minute. We're going to examine the picture as soon as we get to. We'll see if Trucy realizes that's got to be the same guy that we saw. But Prosecutor Gavin? That's a night, eh? I apologize for being so upset.
Mr. Gavin, do you know what's going on? Why did they arrest Machi? Why?
Don't look at him like it's his fault either. It was tough for me too, huh?
No one said the words monkey or chimp, I just said Curious George.
I know, but then I was trying to link Trucy to Curious George, and I said monkey. Then I realized, wait a second, I don't think Curious George was a monkey, because he didn't have a tail. And then, wait a second again, I'm pretty sure the theme song Curious George called him a monkey. So something is wrong. Something's up in here. And thank you very much for the bit, Rukov. It was tough for me too. We performed together that night after all, yet...
Yet?
The powers that be say that given the circumstances, it could only have been him. What do you mean by the circumstances? Lamivar was invited from Virginia as ambassador of goodwill. Oh, does she have like diplomatic immunity? And so he's the fall guy, he's like the only one that they can accuse of murder or something like that?
The game sound is overpowering. It could be taken down a little bit.
Darn it, I'll take it back down. The problem is, I was like going over some old footage of games. There we go, it's back down to what it was before. Maybe that's what's chasing people off, it's just too loud. The problem is I was going over like a lot of footage to make some TikTok videos, and I noticed so many of the times the game audio is almost inaudible. Like you can hardly hear it. And I just never know this while I'm playing, so I need people to tell me when it's too loud or too quiet. That's why I tried turning, and I only turned up like a couple of decibels. Is that a little bit better? I hope it's a little bit better. It also might just be the song. This is a loud song. Let's keep going. It's vital that the case be wrapped up swiftly. That's all the powers that be want, really. Well, those are circumstances, all right. But what makes Machi the only possible suspect? Hair forehead? You seem to have forgotten that you're talking to the prosecution, the enemy. Well, if you're the enemy, why are you hanging out in my house, Holmes? Huh?
That is better. I will try to keep a closer ear on it.
Well, and I appreciate that, Rukov, and thank you for the bit, and I appreciate you letting me know. As I said, I'm getting just very paranoid lately about the music being too quiet, because like I said, a bunch of the VODs I'm looking through, it's like you can't even hear the game unless you crank it up. So thank you very much for the bit. And I'll read some more of the chat in a minute, but I want to keep going for a while. Ah, right! I think I like this side of Prosecutor Gavin better, actually. I'm not at liberty to discuss the particulars of the case, especially not the defense attorney. What do you mean? You legally are required to tell me everything you know. What? What did you just say? Me, the defense attorney? That's what I came to tell you. He's down at the detention center. He wants to request your services. Hey, you mean Machi? Machi wants me?
This is what we've been waiting for, Apollo! Let's get going!
All right. Good luck. I'm off to question Lamirar. All right. Later. Hope I'm up to this. Okay, so if Machi is our client, that means the only two possible murderers from everyone we've seen so far is either Lamirar or Darian. I still think it's Darian. I still think he shoved his arm through that window and fired twice. The first one hitting Latus. Second one intending to hit Machi. Machi escaped through the vents. It would also make sense why Lamirar would be able to do everything like the lyrics in the song, because since he's part of the band, he knows what the lyrics are. The only question is how he would have been able to get that close to the window with that giant hair sticking all the way out. He probably wouldn't be able to like reach the end of his pompadour with his hand. Right, later. Oh, I hope I'm up to this. I was not Crystal. Wait, was it Crystal or who said that I should examine the painting? I can't examine the painting. July 8th, detention center, visitor's room.
Well, I just don't get it. I refuse to believe a cute little kid like that could do something so terrible.
You said that already. I don't think that'll be an effective defense in court.
Rado.
Machi, everything's gonna be okay. We're here for you.
Hi. Maybe you could tell me about last night?
Rado.
Huh?
Rado.
Oh, that was when I realized how tough it must be. A little kid like this. In a country so far from everything he's ever known.
Maybe Lammerwar can help.
But didn't Prosecutor Gavin say she was with him? Good luck. I'm off the question, Lemewar.
Well, what are we gonna do?
That's a good question. I can't think of anything we can do but go with this. Oh, and hope for the best at the trial tomorrow.
Rado.
Wait, oh, that's it? That's the end of the investigation? We're going straight into the trial? Just, okay, well, we're winging it. Yes, we want to save. Yes, overwrite. And then we'll be July 9th, 10 o'clock a.m., District Court, courtroom number 3. Yeah, court is now in session for, how do I say that? Machitoba, Your Honor, the pixie of the arpeggio. Right, his trial. Court is in session. I love that he avoided saying it. All right, we made it to the trial. An hour in, we made it to the trial. Not too bad. Let me catch up in the chat a little bit here. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Oreo says, this is a pretty late, but I feel like I'm prouder of that Djibouti joke than I should be. You should be proud of it. That was a good pun. In fact, did I not? I think I neglected to give you a high five. I like to give high fives for puns, so high five to you, Oreo. I like that pun. You should be proud of it. Chris says, laughing at Simply Oreo. On Extemporaneous is here. How you doing? Said, what's bonkin'? My noggin? I think. I'm not sure. Oh, actually, speaking of bonkin' noggins, I did see a video someone posted online. Somebody made a mod for Super Smash Brothers to replace King Dedede with Tinkerton from Pokemon Scarlet Violet. Speaking of bonkin', look kind of awesome. But how you doing, Extemporaries? What's bonkin' with you, bonk bro? Jorge says, sorry y'all, I'm back. Welcome back, Jorge. We missed you, but how you doing? Extemporaries with some emotes. Rukov says, so good, man. Theo says to Jorge, hey, Jorge. Crystal says, aw, we can't examine the painting. That sucks, but oh well. Defend Machi at all costs. Extemporaries says agrees. And I'm caught up in the chat. Do you see that? I will do my best. Just, yeah, at all costs. Even if we gotta, like, kill everyone in this courtroom. I mean, have any of the defense attorneys in this series tried that as a method of defense? Violence? I mean, it's a video game, after all. Yeah, the defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is A-OK, Herr Judge. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. But does Herr Judge work? Because Herr basically means Mr., right? You wouldn't call a judge Mr. Judge, because Judge is another honorific like Mr. And I guess maybe because if you have a professor, Mr. Professor, I don't know, it doesn't. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. My opening statement, yeah. No, actually, there was something else I wanted to ask you about. Yes. Say you're gonna visit someone in the hospital with an incurable disease. Oh, wow, things are getting real with the judge. Judge, are you okay? Is your brother okay? Does your brother have an incurable disease? Why are we suddenly getting drama with the judge? Judge, I love you, man. Are you okay? Say you're gonna visit someone in the hospital with an incurable disease. What do you say to them? Judge, is this hypothetical? Are you okay? I mean, you wouldn't say get well soon, right? Because it's not gonna get well soon.
Logan, calm down. It's just a hypothetical, obviously.
Well, Oreo, thank you for the bit, Oreo, but I never thought the judge would have his own subplot, let alone a really dramatic one about a loved one dying. You'd only be kicking them when they're down. What are you talking about? Actually, I'm gonna visit someone who is terminally ill. Right after this trial. The Chief Justice's son? And it's a kid? Why are we making this so sad all of a sudden? When did this chapter suddenly become a Make-A-Wish episode? Oh, he's terminally ill, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation says his wish is to witness an execution. So we're just gonna skip the trial. Guilty. Bring him in here. Let's execute someone. Oh, it's a child, even better. I feel it's only right a child should see a child get executed. The Chief Justice. His son is afflicted with the most terrible disease. He doesn't have long, it seems. What is happening? So I thought I'd go pay him a visit. I thought saying something moving might be the order of the day.
Why don't grown-ups ever just say what's on their mind instead of pretending?
I think that's an impulse that gets instilled in you in your teenage years. Like, as soon as you start getting really hot and heavy crushes on people, because then it's like, oh, I have a crush on this girl or this guy or whatever, but I can't say it. I just have to beat around the bush, and it's like, and then I think it just spreads to everything else. But this had better be relevant to the case, and it better be, like, vitally relevant that it's a child that's dying. Oh, and thank you, Toilet Duck. I actually haven't saved all night. That's a good point. Because otherwise, this is... Or maybe, like, the next trial, the fourth trial, is going to be the Chief Justice, and the defendant is going to be accused of killing us. So what is happening? She's looking at me with something like disgust. Hey, what are you looking at me like that for? In any case, we'll never speak of this again, but it still happened. Just know that in this universe, a child has died. I'm a bit busy today, so let's wrap this up quickly. Prosecutor Gavin, your opening statement briefly. You're in luck here, Judge. I believe you'll be going on your hospital visit sooner than you think. What? First, to review the victim in the case. Romain Letouce, age 35. Wait, that guy's 35? Looks like 50. Maybe it's the beard. He'd have a baby face if he shaved it, I bet. The global manager for Diva Songstress Le Miroir. The cause of death, blood loss due to being shot by a large caliber revolver. This report has all the details. The court accepts this into evidence. Letouce's autopsy report added to the court record. Well, let's read the autopsy report real quick. Yeah, 45 caliber, that's quite large, isn't it? Maybe. It's not the size of the caliber, it's how you use it, right? Okay, Romain Letouce, age 35, male, July 7th, between 9 and 9:30 p.m. Blood loss due to 45 caliber bullet wound. The time elapsed between shooting and death currently under review. Okay, so that's gonna be important. So we don't know how long he was laying there. So maybe he wait, no. Because we heard the... Oh. What if... No, okay. Because we heard 2 gunshots coming from inside the room. And there are 2 bullet holes in the wall. Maybe, though, neither of those gunshots were what hit him. Maybe he was shot elsewhere, dragged in, but then how would he not have a trail of blood? But my guess is we're going to examine those bullets, and we're going to find out that neither of them had been in his body, and that there was no blood on either of them. Because otherwise, why would they have a big deal about the time passed between when we heard the gunfires, ran in, and saw him dying right away? A direct hit from that could knock a man off his feet! However, the bullet struck him in his shoulder. The damage to the body was slight. Death was not immediate. Sadly, his blood loss was such that he could not be saved. I suppose the victim's condition could have been much worse, considering. Much worse than death? Crime photo added to the court record. 2 shots were fired. One shot missed, the other penetrated and passed through the victim's shoulder. Both bullets were found in the wall at the scene. Observe the diagram. This is where the bullets hit. I see. The court accepts this evidence. Diagram added. The court, they're just giving me tons of evidence all at once. If we're talking about a 45 caliber revolver, oh, we must assume that the killer was adept at the weapon's use. Well, that's another thing. Didn't somebody say that it requires a lot of strength? We're saying a little child shot that caliber of a gun and it didn't like recoil into his face and break his nose, and that he somehow carried Romain Latouche up to the top of that tower on the stage? Ugh.
Really?
Yeah, apparently weapons that size have a powerful kickback. If, say, the judge tried to fire one, it'd break every bone in his body. The defense will take more care in choosing examples. I'm not offended, I'm just scared. The idea of my bones breaking is my greatest fear. As I was saying, the victim was shot backstage in a dressing room. This dressing room has only one entrance, this door. Okay, so here's my theory. He was shot, dragged in there, left on the floor. The killer left, went around to the other side where that window is, pointed the gun through, blam blam, fired twice into the wall. Twice, I don't know why. So it's a new theory, so that's what happens, and then we just assume that that's the moment when he was shot. That does seem to be the case, yes! However, there were witnesses who heard the gunshots.
He's talking about you and Emma, huh?
Yet when the witness entered the room, it was empty, save for the victim's body, of course. Yeah, but that's impossible! Actually, I'm gonna read a little bit more in the chat here, because I miss talking to y'all. I want to see what y'all are saying. See, Extemporary says, oh no, Logan is caught up. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna catch him again. There's nothing good to do to stop me. Rukov says, italics. Crystal says, we need violence. Extemporary says, I remember watching a Legal Eagle YouTube video where he talked about there was a defense attorney who died for his client, the ultimate defense. Well, how did he die? Did he take a bullet? Did he consume poison? Huh? Extemporary says, whoa, I never knew that. Wait, no, because I don't think that's how you do italics. Actually, I don't know how you do italics. It's hypothetically, obviously, meaning metaphorically, figuratively, mentally, maybe. No, because that's the thing, whenever, that's the equivalent of saying I'm just asking for a friend, what the judge did. Come on. Theo said, if it's related to the case and can prove the client innocent, then yes, that better be related to the case. Otherwise, there was a lot of sad stuff about a dying child for nothing. Crystal says, angst chapter. I guess we've never had an angsty, a child is dying chapter in these Ace Attorney games. Exterminator says, I feel like maybe the judge should postpone the trial in that case. We'd be fine with that. It'd give us more time to prepare. Exterminator says, bro's name is Romain Latouche. It is. It's Romain Lettuce. I don't know why that's the pun. If Weird was here, I'm sure we could get some trivia later on, because it seems like every name usually is a pun, but then also has some significance for why they chose that pun. So maybe Romain Lettuce, because lettuce is like an onion, you peel back the layers? I don't know. I'll read some more in just a minute here, but let's keep going with the game. That's impossible! Exactly. This murder was impossible. For all but one person. Oh, this is gonna be why, because they're gonna say that Machi could have escaped through the vent over by the stepladder, right? One person? That is, of course, the defendant Machi Tobai. Only this defendant could have committed the crime? But how? It's quite simple. Circumstances of the crime scene make it clear. Very well, I assume you have testimony to back up this claim. Let the witness please take the stand. Okay, who's gonna be the witness? It's gonna be Lameroir? And we're gonna find out what her testimony is? Of course, if she lies, if she's trying to cast aspersions onto Machi, then maybe she's the killer. I hope it's not Darian. I want our shark bro to not be executed, because he has cool hair. I'm sorry, but if you... Wait, oh, Emma. Oh, she's going to be explaining the scene. Your name and profession, please. Emma Sky. I'm a detective at the police department. 2 for 2. Clavier is much better at getting the name and profession at the top of testimonies. I was on security detail at the concert forum that night. Emma seems tired somehow. She probably hasn't had her snack. Who's? Security at the concert, you say? Some security I was. Couldn't even stop a murder. Oh, now don't blame yourself. Things like this happen. I've made even bigger mistakes in my career, you know. Yes, tell us about more children that are dying, Judgy. I'm sure that makes her feel much better.
I want to hear about these bigger mistakes.
It's probably going to be people he falsely convicted and had executed wrongly. In any case, because you have owned security details, the crime scene was quickly discovered, and we were able to identify the killer. You may give the court your testimony if you would. Describe the circumstances of that day and your discovery of the crime, please. All right.
Murderous circumstances.
The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Professor Gavin's request. Prosecutor Gavin's request, sorry. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. At the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I went into the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it. Oh, you're gonna ignore the fact that you left to go call for help? Left me there and then came back and then he was dead? That you found a body and left not even checking to see if the body was still alive? Oh, it was lucky that a detective was the first on the scene.
But the door was the only way out of the room, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And I don't get it. How can they say that Machi did it?
Looks like we need a bit more information. Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination. Okay, we're gonna save, as always. We're gonna save before we cross-examine. We're gonna press everything, but because we're saving, let me catch up a little bit more in the chat. Save, and back out. There we go. Let's see. Chris with the emote saying definitely not. Ruka says I am saying nothing. Chris says we stop, look and catch up. Crystal and extemporaneous with some emotes. Rukov says I refuse to say anything. Nothing at all. Chris says yeah. How did he die? Again, my current theory is, like I said, shot somewhere else, dragged in there, left, dying for a long. Because if you're shot in the shoulder, it's like I bled out. Unless you hit an artery, that'd probably be like a long time. And if it was an artery, it probably wouldn't have been like the damage was minor. Yeah? But also, if he was shot in the shoulder, why was he like face down on the ground? He should have been able to maybe get back up. Then again, I've never been shot in the shoulder, so I don't know. Rukov says this will be known as the silent stream. Chris says definitely nothing, Rukov. Extemporaneous says Rukov reserves the right to remain silent. Rukov is pulling a Lameroir. Rukov says, where no one talked in chat. Chris says, italics. Wait, how'd you do the italics? Somebody says, love italics. So you figured out how to do it. How do you do it? Crystal says, we have the right to remain silent. Crystal says, how to do italics? Just do /me, then do your message? Huh. I'm gonna have to try that sometime. Theo says, okay, a couple of flaws. If one bullet went through the shoulder, that round would not hit the wall because the kinetic force would not be enough to go through bones. Well, we don't know if it actually hit bones in the shoulder, but they are saying that the bullet did go clean through him. And the exit wound probably would have exploded a bunch of his shoulder to make it much worse, I'm guessing. But I also don't think those bullets in the wall are from that. I think they were to stage it to make it look like he was shot in the dressing room. But okay, well, we'll read some more in a minute. But let's keep going with this. Let's press everything. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request. And the night of the murder was the night of the concert, yes? That's right! It's almost like you were there with me. What was the detective doing on security detail, might I ask? If it was only a concert. My thoughts exactly. But orders are orders, even when they come from rock gods. Okay, so it was at Gavin's request. So do we think that he maybe knew that a murder was going to take place? Or maybe the request just came from the Gaviners, and the request was from Darian, and he is the killer, and was planning on framing somebody else, and wanted to make sure that people were there to find the body right away in the dressing room and jump to the wrong conclusions, perhaps? Prosecutor Gavin? Yeah, allow me to explain. I smelled something that day, you might say. The stench of conspiracy. That is not a believable excuse. That day at the concert hall. Conspiracy? Well, isn't it obvious? My keys the whole morning, no, the whole day was ruined. Whenever my day is ruined, I suspect conspiracy and murder, and I get the detectives to come protect me. It's all because someone stole my keys. I couldn't ride my hog to the show. I couldn't open my guitar case.
There he goes again.
Isn't it possible he simply misplaced them? Misplaced them? Misplaced items don't just wander into a murder victim's hand on their own. No. Yeah, what's this? Prosecutor Gavin, if your keys were in the victim's hand, that makes you a prime suspect! No, I play air guitar. You can no longer suspect me. Oh, this is like my Uno reverse card. Love slow acting anew. Atro Queen is waiting for you. What is Atro? Is this? Did he just write a jingle for some type of medicine?
He's saying something.
Does everything with this guy have to be so over the top? The killing happened in the middle of my concert. I was like a sailor adrift on a sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else stolen. So I put the detective with the most time on their hands on the task. I see, I can accept that. Well, I can't. What do you mean time on their hands? Please, the testimony! Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. What about me? We were let in, though. I didn't know about that. I certainly didn't invite you. Why do you think we were there? I gave the Fräulein special permission to be there. I wanted to see her again. The 15-year-old? You're saying in a court of law that the entire reason that we were there is because you, a grown man of age, let's see, how old is he? A grown man of 24 just wanted to see the 15-year-old again?
Oh boy, did you hear that? We're officially involved now.
Gee, great. Some other hangers-on tried to get backstage, but I drove them off. So no other outsiders were there then. And then, at the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I believe we were having a chat when we heard the shots. You were the one chatting. I was eating snackoos. And once again, we can see them. That does not look like anything is chocolate. That is a rendering of old sausage. Let me read a little more in the chat. You can leave that up in case anybody wants to try and figure out what that is actually made of. See, Chris says, like this, impossible, except he says, vent among us. Like, that's the thing, Machi was very sus. Machi was imposter. No, it's, again, I'm suspecting Darian. Possibly Lameroir, but I'm thinking probably Darian. Oreo says, I'm done, finally, congratulations! You got all of it, all 3 subjects done? I hope you're feeling good about it. Welcome back, Oreo. Xebria says, finally? Oreo says, finally. Xebria says, I want to hear about the judge's mistakes. I think pretty much my assumption is that every single case, other than those where the defendant was defended by Phoenix Wright, Mia Fey, or Apollo Justice, all of them, the client was wrongly found guilty and executed. Just across the board. Every single case. Xebria says, finally. Oreo says, anyway, my English teacher is allowing us to write about whatever we want, so I'm going to go write about why Megamind is an underrated masterpiece. What is your thesis statement for that essay? Give me your one-sentence thing that you're going to be arguing that makes Megamind a masterpiece. I'm not passionate. Megamind it's a fun movie. It's got some good stuff going on. Krista says, save time. Chris says, no, catching up, Logan. Emma, you were literally with us. Xemray says, ooh, I always heard people either like Megamind or Despicable Me, whichever one they found first. I prefer Despicable Me, but that also might be because I saw Despicable Me first. But I do like Megamind. I won't go into the whys and the hows, especially until after I hear the thesis statement for it. But let's play a little bit more of the game here. You were the one chatting. I was eating snackoos. Hey, no snacking in court! And you're sure the shots came from Lemoir's room? Yes, absolutely. Wait, why are you answering? He was asking the witness, bro. Hey, I'm the one being cross-examined here. I think Apollo always secretly wanted to be the witness. Here, this'll keep you quiet. Don't snackoo me! Katonk. Thanks. So, wait, he actually ate it? So, how about it, Emma? Snackoo.
we were right there. Hard to be mistaken about that much. Yeah, please, either talk or eat, not both at the same time.
Right, so after that, me and Mr. Lawyer there opened the dressing room door. I went into the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body. But he wasn't dead yet, he was a person, not a body. Rock! Yeah, remember it was playing over the speaker? Blaring, yes.
When you say rock, are you perhaps referring to the rock and or roll music? To this, he basically said that, this rock roll music that's so popular these days. Can you tell me what that means? I want to know what the N stands for, but I'm afraid to ask because people tell me bad words start with N.
That's right, when we went into that dressing room, music was blaring over the speaker on the wall. They'd pipe sound from the stage into the backstage through speakers. That way people in the back can hear when they're supposed to be on stage. Did it have to be so loud? You don't listen to the governors with your ears. You feel it with your entire body and soul. I always have the backstage monitors on full volume.
Judge would say rocking roll.
It's rocking roll. I love Judge Udgy. But hang on, Kazori, because you... Huh?
Megamind is a film about rejection of identity, the reality of social pressure, how one positive relationship can change someone for the better, and how nice guys never get what they think they deserve.
I like that. I like that. Also about mispronouncing words for some reason. Did they ever explain why Megamind pronounces everything wrong? Or is it just like a Will Ferrell thing? They're like, we can't tell Will Ferrell to stop. We've tried telling him to stop it, but he won't stop. So let's write it into the story and make it a plot point. But it's a fun movie. But I do like both that and Despicable Me. I think a lot of what I like about Despicable Me, though, is I like the style of it much better. It's much more stylized and cartoony. Like Megamind, there's just a little bit too much of that uncanny realism. Like they got all the eyelashes and just a bit too structured with stuff. But it's still a fun movie. I like it a lot. And thank you for the bit. And but yeah, Jorge, had you, because you left and then came back. Were you gone while the judge suddenly started talking about a kid who is dying that he has to visit in the hospital out of, apropos of nothing? It was awful. Let me read just a little bit more in the chat, though. Krista says, Justice was the first one to enter, I think. I think we were. We ran in. Our cords of steel are blaring. Krista says, The Quiet Stream. It's like the movie The Quiet Place. Extemporaneous and Krista with some emotes. Krista says, The Grave Stream. Rukov says, me used to do colors, then they changed it to italics. Interesting. Krista says, yep, it was awesome. Oreo says to extemporaneous, yes, both released in 2010 and follow the villain reformed arc. Wait, they came out both in the same year? I didn't know that. Extemporaneous says, I heard about that. People abused it to simulate bits and whatnot back in the day. Oh, that's probably why they changed it. Rukov said, you can also write upside down. That I don't know how to do at all. Extemporaneous says, does that mean you watched Megamind first? To Oreo, Crystal says, in Twitch? How, Rukov? Oreo said, I actually think Despicable Me is one of the reasons why Megamind is underrated. I think that does happen sometimes. Sometimes there'll be like two very, very similar movies coming out, or even TV shows, and then one will take off, and the other was like good, but kind of gets overshadowed by the other one. Okay, I'll get back to the game, then we'll read some more of the chat in a minute, but let's play a bit more of the game. I always have the backstage monitors at full volume. When we walked into the room, the band was playing Guilty Love, I believe, making it easy to determine the time of the crime. If you could hear that music playing! Then everyone on stage for that song has an alibi, including myself. Okay, but this is why it's probably Darian. They mentioned earlier there's something about him missing a cue, and I think it's because that is when the crime actually took place. That is when he left, shot the guy, dragged his body into there. Oh crap, but then how? He would have had to be down there to fire the two shots to make them think that he was shot then. Well, he did say conspiracy, so maybe multiple people are involved. Maybe both Darian and Lamoureux are both guilty. Maybe, including myself. Anyway, I closed off the scene and started my investigation. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it. It's gonna be because either A, he's the only one unaccounted for, slam on the table, or he's the only one that could have escaped through the ventilation system. How could you know something like that? As I said, it was clear from the circumstances. Listen, we know there was only one exit from the room, that door. The small window only opened a tiny crack, and I was standing in front of that door. So how could the killer have fled the scene? There's only one possibility, the air vent. Yeah, he's the imposter! Airlock Machi! But the air vent was too small. Who could possibly? Oh, a child. Exactly. Huh? There's certainly no way you could get through, nor me. The only one who could fit through was a child. A child? Remember, access to those rooms was limited. Only those involved with the concert were allowed. And of all the people involved with the concert, only one is small enough to be considered a child. The defendant? The pixie of the arpeggio. Sorry, I couldn't say it. I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right. Flitted up towards the sky. And disappeared from the scene of the crime. But that's just conjecture! What? There was no other way out of that room. You over there, you should know, hair forehead. Huh? And there is another vital piece of evidence. Evidence? What? There's evidence in this case? What? Marks were found on the air vent grill. Traces that had recently been opened. Wait, what, huh? And something else was found quite cleanly. Let me guess, fingerprints? The defendant, Machi Tobai's fingerprints. What? Whoa! I think he did vent, but I think he was just, that he was the siren that witnessed it and he ran away. Order! That air vent was the only way out of the room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Well, hair forehead, what fairy tale does this suggest to you? Ark! Only one could pass through that vent, the doorway to heaven. And that one is our pixie.
Why are you looking at... What are you looking at me, Apollo? Hey, I was out whooping it up in the audience.
So this was his decisive evidence. Oh, quite decisive indeed. I believe that's enough of that. Guilty. I'm gonna go visit a dying child in the hospital. Huh? The prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched, making the defendant the only one who could possibly leave the scene. Simple and decisive. I believe we've heard enough to determine our verdict. He's in such a rush. Even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit, I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. That will have to be enough. Arg, it can't be over already! Oh, very well, I believe this trial is finished. If the defense has no contradicting evidence, let's save before we present our contradicting evidence, because I don't know if we got any. Let's see, what do we have? What do we have for contradicting evidence? Okay, we have the lyrics, we have the postcard, the investigation thing, we have the brooch that places Lamoire at the scene, maybe. The keys were found in his hand? Huh?
Trucy was moshing, the security guards separating her from the massive fight she started are her alibi.
I know they were there. I will never understand the appeal of moshing. I'm not good at it. I don't like it. I remember one concert I went to. Is Selmer's still here? Selmer's would appreciate it. It was a They Might Be Giants concert, but it was at this really small venue in Murray, Utah. Like really cramped in this tiny area. But it was just like all standing room and everybody's moshing. And there were some friends. Most of us were like standing toward the back, just like outside of the crowd, watching from the rear. And this one buddy of mine, Sean, suddenly turns around and he's like, I'm going to run in the mosh pit. And he just like runs in there and just disappears into the crowd, and we just don't see him for a while. And then a couple songs later, he comes staggering toward us from behind, his shirt like ripped in half, and he's like, ugh. We're like, what happened? He's like, I don't know. I went in there, and then I blacked out, and I just woke up laying on that bench behind me over there. And I'm like, sounds like a fun time. Boy, love mosh pits. But thank you for the bit, Jorge. I appreciate that. Once we get to some background music again, I will read some more in the chat here. Okay. So for contradicting evidence, let's see. We still don't know what that is. That's not decisive yet. Whatever he was writing in blood. I mean, this could be contradicting the fact that we don't know how much time elapsed between the shooting and the death. That is currently under review. That's not contradictory, but it could be. Probably not the diagram. So my guess is it is either the brooch, the keys. Well, no, because the keys we already gave. That would just cast aspersions over into Clavier, but he's already got an alibi. So it's either the brooch or the fact that there's the time of death hasn't been figured out. Probably the brooch. We're going to have to cast aspersions on Lamoire. So we did just save. The defense has no contradicting evidence. The prosecution has presented our proof clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it had better be clear and plain.
Capello, they got us on the ropes already. We better come up with something quick.
I know. Think what can get us out of this. We need evidence or a witness that can prove Machi is innocent beyond the doubt. Because Machi was probably with Lamoire, maybe? So with the fact that he's saying or a witness, we'll probably be able to present a person. We'll present Lamoire. Then let's go ahead and save again before we do this so we don't have quite as far to go if we screw this up. Without that, gulp. Mr. Justice? Do you have contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? If you do, you better tell us about it now. Oh, this is it, and so soon. If I mess this one up, it's all over. The court wants contradicting proof. Present evidence. Call a witness. I don't have proof. Let's try calling a witness. Call a witness. Prosecutor Gavin, you claim there were no witnesses to this crime. Are you absolutely sure? Absolutely. I would swear on my career as a prosecutor. Oh, so then that means now you're going to have to do what Phoenix Wright did. When you find out there's a witness, you're going to have to stop being a prosecutor and you'll become a pianist with a T. And on my million-selling hit song, Atro Queen, my love. What is Atro Queen?
There he goes again.
It's too bad because there was a witness. Oh, really now? But how did you come to possess knowledge of the prosecution? Clearly does not. Except this is not going to go well because Clavier has already met with her, with Lamoire. Because I am the only one in the world who knows this. Yeah, what's going on? I just talked to him and now. Hey, he's alive. Mr. Latos, can you hear me?
Cold, so cold. Witness.
You're cold? Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Help is on the way.
Can't see.
Oh, the witness can't see. He wasn't saying that he can't see. See, there we go. It is Machi. I was right. So it's not Lamoire, it's Machi. The witness can't see. He didn't say I can't see. The witness can't see. Hang in there, Mr. Toast. Tell me, who was the witness?
The witness is Siren.
But why say Siren? Just say Machi. Same number of syllables and everything. Let me read a little bit more in the chat now. I feel a bit vindicated in my theory that he said the witness can't see. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Extemporaneous says, guys, we should just talk upside down for the rest of the stream. Then I'm going to think you're all Australian. Are you all Australian? I think, isn't Apple Australian? We just saw her in the chat a little bit ago. Rukov says it's fancy. Chris says, Rukov, give us tutorial. Rukov says special secrets. Oreo says to Extemporaneous, I definitely watched Despicable Me first, but I did gain an appreciation for Megamind. I enjoy both films. That's the thing, they are both enjoyable. Despite their similar subject matter, they are very different movies. Extemporaneous says, Atro Queen, ooh la la, what is it? And Rukov with the website, fsymbols.com. Extemporaneous says, I like fancy words. Honors typically, how you doing typically? Good to see you. Crystal says, thank you, Rukov. Rukov says, special secrets, question mark. Typically says, what's up, guys? Not much, we're just investigating murder of a lettuce man. How you doing? I hope you're... Wait, have I seen you since Christmas and New Year's? If I haven't, how was your Christmas and New Year's? I hope it was good. Rickoff says, hey, typically it says, so, good, you. Except Ray says, yeah, it probably did make Megamind more underrated, but to be fair, that's good. Could you imagine if Megamind's minion was as widespread as Despicable Me's minion? At least he was more of a fleshed out character, but I can't remember his name. I know he was played by David Cross. But even though they are a bit over, what's the right word? Not oversaturated, but there's a bit too much with the minions out there. I do still like the minions. Rukov said, I am doing well. Chris says, hey, typically. Typically says, hi, Crystal. Chris says, sus, Machi, and Darian. Except Ray says, someone call emergency meeting. Typically says, underrated? Yes, we're talking about the difference between Despicable Me and Megamind. Rukov says, if typing like this, Logan has a hard time reading it. Oh, if I type like this, Logan has a hard time reading it. I don't know. I feel like I read that half decently. Except Reyes says, and thus chaos begins to spread. See, I can read it just fine. Crystal says, let's go Megamind. Okay, I'll read some more in a minute, but I hope I have shown that I'm able to read upside down. You can also do that thing. Have you seen where people do that thing where they write an entire paragraph where all the words, only the first and last letters are the same and everything else is all mixed up, and as long as you have all the letters, you can still read it just fine? I'm always impressed by that. Anyway, the witness is Siren. What? The victim said this before he died? Perhaps he did, and perhaps he did not. What do you mean by that? All we know is what her forehead says he said. It's no testimony, especially since it comes from the defense attorney himself. Huh, but it's the truth, he said it! Oh, I wonder if somehow Clavier knew that was told to me, and that's, maybe he specifically had me assigned as the defense attorney, knowing that I wouldn't be able to be a witness, because I should be a witness. I am a witness. I should not be the defense attorney on this case. But it's the truth, he said it! I even told you about it! But apparently, you ignored me completely! It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly, this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job. That's enough! Mr. Justice, we need a clear contradictory proof from you! This witness of yours, unknown to the prosecution! I hope you're right. Failure carries a stiff penalty. Okay, we're gonna save because the witness should be Machi. But I'm gonna guess that the game is gonna punish me if I give the correct answer, that I'm supposed to say Lamerwar. Perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for. Ark, there's no backing out now. Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice. But, because we just saved, I'm gonna try the game. I'm gonna try to pick the correct answer and see if the game's still punishing me for it. If it does, I'm just gonna save scum and reload. It's Machi is clearly the one that they were talking about. Or the one that the Latus was talking about. Because he said the witness can't see. The witness is Siren. And Lamerwar told us that the Siren, Lamerwar, is the both of them together. So yes, let's present this. And you claim that they witnessed the murder? This is a bit unexpected. Won't you have proof? Well, actually, oh, I can't think of anything. I know that look, Mr. Justice. It's the look of a man who's about to be penalized. See? Okay, mental bookmark that. When we come back later and we've established that he was the witness, the judge was wrong. He wrongfully penalized me. So we are going to reload because that is bullcrap. Return to the title screen, all unsaved data will be lost. Yes, yes, yes. Continue. And fine, we'll present Lamerwar. Okay, stiffer penalties than usual is called for. No backing out now. Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice. And we'll do Lamerwar. Singer lauded as the siren of the ballad from the tiny country of Borginia. Lamerwar? Recall Mr. Toulouse's last words. The witness can't see, the witness is siren. We'll ignore the witness can't see and only focus partly on the siren.
The witness is Siren.
The siren? Aha! Oh, he meant the siren. That's right, the siren of the ballad, Lamerwar. Lamoire was only on stage for the second set. And she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness. I see. Well, Prosecutor Gavin, my claim still stands. There was no witness to this crime. Very well. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth then, shall we? I'm a misogynist and I call women a horse. We will now take a break from Detective Emma Sky's cross-examination. Please show Lamoire to the witness stand. Lamoire would say nothing the night of the murder. Well, also, like, this is... Why, your job. You should spend time with the witness before you call the witness. Not today, though. Today we'll drag that story out of her no matter what it is. We still need a better voice for this lady. It is my distinct honor to welcome the siren of the ballad to our courtroom. All right, let me catch up a little more in the chat. And then we'll go back to her. See, Jorge says, I'm all well. I've just been falling asleep. Oh, wait, Jorge, wait, say, so you're well, like, have you gotten over your cold? Are you, but crap, you're falling asleep. I know that I think my voice sometimes lulls Jorge to sleep. I hope you're still awake, but I hope you're feeling better, Jorge, like from your cold that you've been having. Extebrius says, asterisk begins. Typically it says, holy moly! Extebrius says, it's okay, listen to your body. Or he says, nah, it's cool, I still have things I need to do. I'll sleep at 9. So that's still because 9 your time is 10 my time, so still a half hour. Okay, we still got you for a while. Crystal says, rock and roll peeps, fancy. Extemporaneous says, the Rock Johnson. Typically it says, with dearest apologies. Like the fancy writing's harder to read than the upside down writing. Chris says, perfect extemporaneous. Rukov says, lonely Logan cordially invites you to watch his stream. Extemporaneous says, indeed. Typically with some Zalgo words, I think it's saying Shrek 2 is underrated. Which, have you guys heard about how the new Puss in Boots movie is doing? I'm hearing some people saying it's actually good. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's awful. Maybe I shouldn't trust people I heard it from. But if any of you guys seen it yet? Extemporaneous says, Megamind is Will Ferrell? Yeah, Will Ferrell is the voice of Megamind. Rukov says, Shrek 2 is underrated. Typically says, indeed it is. Jorge says, no, I was here for the dead kid talk. Okay, good. Chris says, watch Logan Robo's stream. He is our handsome, lonely Logan. Oh, stop it. I'm not even wearing the glasses. See? If this is handsome, then what is this classify as? Rukov says, I have created monsters. Typically says, I'm very drunk, sorry. Rukov says, I used to do all of the commands with special characters like that, and I never knew how you did them, so what if I would go through and, like, edit them, I would just get all messed up by everything. Okay, I will read some more of the chat in a minute, but let's get back into the game for now. I need some more water, hang on. And again, I don't have a good voice for Lamoire, so if anybody has a good idea for a voice to replace her with, please, I'm all ears. It is my distinct honor to welcome the siren of the ballad to our courtroom. You are too kind. Maybe it should just be, I'm kind of leaning a little bit toward Gonta. Maybe it's just Gonta, but with good grammar. You are too kind. Whoa, you can speak English?
Yes, I can. Though I am not very good. There is much I do not know.
Oh, you speak so well. Have you spent time here before?
Actually, I do not know how I came by my knowledge of your language.
Huh?
Nor where I studied it.
Huh? What does she mean she doesn't know? I too sought to call her as a witness, but I did not. I had a reason, of course. What's that? Lamoire suffers from amnesia. We're seriously doing amnesia? Is it gonna be like a short-term amnesia too, where she doesn't remember anything from the day before also? If so, how does she like memorize her songs and how to play them? Lamoire suffers from amnesia. Amnesia? I used to know what that means, but I forgot. Waka waka.
Lamoire is not my true name, yet I remember nothing of the time before I was given it. Nothing of the time before I started singing on stage.
Whoa, she's even more mysterious than I thought.
As lauded singer Le Miroir, she lives a good life. There are little difficulties for her thanks to her success. Yet, I did not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress. Oh, I see. I care surprisingly little about people's pasts. You have nothing to fear in this court, Le Miroir. Thank you. Yet there is something I do not understand. I am being called as a witness. What might I say? No one will tell me anything of what happened. Le Miroir, let me be frank. I did not want to ask you up here to testify. Yet that young gentleman with a wide forehead over there was adamant that you stand.
Wait, wide forehead? I thought he had a tall forehead.
Oh my.
Congratulations, Apollo. You're the bad guy.
Ugh.
Well, now that you're here, please give us your testimony. If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw the night of the crime.
What I saw.
As for what I saw nothing.
If only that was like the only statement.
That night I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. I did not return backstage after the second set. Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. That was where I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details. I must say, you sound wonderful just testifying.
I hope he was too distracted to hear what she was actually saying.
There you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now we can only pray that the defense has the sense to admit defeat and refrain from detaining her here any longer than need be.
Wow, you just got better, Apollo. Way to go.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Keep it short and sweet. Le Miroir wouldn't talk to me the night of the crime. She must know something, and I've got to find out what.
What I saw. Okay, we're going to save for cross-examination. I'm also going to catch up a bit more into the chat. All right, let me save. Save. And, all right, going to catch some more in the chat. Extemporary says, Rukov recreated the story of Frankenstein's monster, which, fun fact, technically does not have a name. Victor Frankenstein is the scientist. And this thing, everybody says two things, actually. One of my favorite, like, random memes, somebody did a photograph of the last page of Frankenstein, the book. And it's where the monster, like, is like, on the ship and sailing off in the distance. And it's like, I saw the monster, sail off in the distance. And then someone wrote in pen, and before he disappeared, the monster turned around and said, quote, "By the way, it's okay if you call me Frankenstein too. I don't mind," or something like that. And I love it. Because if you think about it, if he was created by Victor Frankenstein, or whatever Frankenstein's first name was, I'm not sure if it was actually Victor. I know pop culture says that, but I know in Frankenstein movies it's not always Victor. If he was created by Dr. Frankenstein, he could be his son. You could consider him his son. So his name, wouldn't it then also logically be Frankenstein? Maybe, we don't know his first name. Maybe it was like Toby. But yeah, Victor Frankenstein, his son, Toby Frankenstein. And so if somebody says, oh, look, it's Frankenstein, it could be either of them. I'm just saying. Oh, Spamton G. Spamton is here. Haven't seen you since we played Deltarune. How are you doing? Say choo-choo chat. Come aboard the law train. Next stop, your kneecap's the most vulnerable part of the body. How you doing? Extemporaneous with some emos. Chris saying, young murder, dong and robber. You guys are having a lot of fun with all this text. Typically says, what in the holy moly? Wait, typically is Spamton one of your alts or something? Hori says, Rukov actually made many crow-abominations with all his font changing. Ooh, 100,000. You reached 100,000 obies? We still need to add some kind of 100K redeem. Extemporary says, what's a crow-abomination? It's like an abomination, but Rukov is like a bird, so Rukov isn't a crow specifically, he's a rook, but it's like an abomination of crows. Oh, and Jorge with a hydrate command. Thank you so much for the hydrate command, Jorge. Also, it sounds very similar to a Pokemon's name. I'm not sure which one, though. I think it's the, there's like an ice lobster, I think, called Claw Abomination or something like that. But thank you for the hydrate command, Jorge. Bams says, come for all you need cops. Chat, wahoo, typically says, arg. Jorge says, extemporaneous an abomination made by a crow. Extemporaneous seas. Chris says, what do you mean it's decided? Impossible. Typically says, what's the visit for? Oh, the judge, he is visiting the child of the Chief Justice who is dying. They just dropped this at the start of the trial. It's like, by the way, the Chief Justice's child is dying of an incurable disease. I want to say get well soon, but it doesn't matter because he's dying. It's like, where is this coming from? Hori says, typically dying kid. Typically says, oh dang. Hori says, I love moshing so much. It's like no risk fighting, so it's perfect for me to get my fix of fighting. I don't think I've ever needed a fix of fighting. I've never craved fighting. Maybe something's wrong with me. Hori said, also getting shoved around in a giant pit of dudes isn't so bad. There's why you like it. Hori says, because I have a very, quote, big dog and a small dog body type personality. Exterminator says, fascinating. Ooh, what personality do you have on the MBTI scale? And Hori says, I have no idea. I haven't retested myself. Last time I had ISTP-T. Okay, these are things. I once took one of those type of tests, but I honestly don't. And I don't mean this as any offense if people do believe in them. I don't believe in any of those tests. That's just me personally. I can't remember what I got. But, I mean, if you guys find belief and meaning in them, that's totally cool. Theo said, last time I checked, I'm an INTJ-A on the MBTI scale. So everybody says, I'm an INFP. Yeah, Clavier has a point. For all we know, we could be making it up. And that's true, but that's why we should not be the defense attorney. We should be a witness saying, we helped find the body, the victim said this, and then let it go from there. Have someone else be the defense attorney. We cannot possibly be the only defense attorney in town. See, Oreo said, this is definitely a way to write. Not a good way, but a way. Are you guys just like on that other page? Are you copying and pasting the characters from it? Or are there alt codes you can type in this stuff? Chris says, Machi, let's go. Rukov says, so warning about these special characters. They can get you timed out in other streams and banned. I did not know that, but that is probably really good to know. Somebody says, yeah, I can imagine why. Or I said, yeah, of course, understood. Rukov says, please use it wisely here. Okay, I will read some more of the chat in a minute, but let's actually play some more of the game.
No problem with being peaceful, Logan. I just have the drive.
And that's fine too, and I totally get that. I mean, it's a fairly natural thing, I think, especially among men. I do a lot of the things that guys do, where sometimes if I'm like out in public by myself, I try to have like situational awareness and try and stop and think, okay, so what do I do if like that person over there looks kind of shady? What if that person like starts acting violent? Am I going to be able to defend myself? Am I going to be able to escape the situation? Am I going to be able to help run to the defense of somebody else? Like I still do that, and I probably vastly overestimate my abilities. But yeah, I never feel like, oh, I just want to fight, because I like violence in video games and movies and anime, but not in real life. But thank you for the bit, Jorge. All right, let's play some more. And we're going to press every statement, and then we'll look and see if we have any evidence.
As for what I saw nothing.
But you must have seen something. Mr. Latouche named you.
Mr. Latouche? How can I tell you what I don't know?
Lamoir, he said you were a witness with his dying words.
I do not know what he meant to say, but that night...
Logan, you type a sentence into a field and the website gives you options of fonts to copy from.
And there's our example of it breaking text to speech. So that's cool. I didn't know that, because I've seen people use that font. So now I can actually go and edit commands that you've used those types of fonts in if I ever feel like changing them. All right, I get it. It was fsymbols.com. Was that it? And thank you very much for the bit and for the information.
That night I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did.
Hold it! It was a great concert.
You heard me sing? Thank you.
I was hoping to get an autograph later, actually. Oh, because we have our little postcard thing.
Of course.
Mr. Justice, this is a cross-examination. You're out of line. If anyone deserves an autograph here, it's me. One on my gavel would be nice. Herr Judge. Well, what's this? Oh, just give him an autograph. What's this? It's my autograph. Now keep the trial moving. Does he just have autographed pieces of paper just hanging around in his pockets at all times? Well, hey! Why is it personalized to me? Oh, my grandchild will be so happy. So Judge Udgy isn't a childless old man. He does have a family. Apparently, his grandson's a big fan. Yeah, thanks, Apollo. We couldn't have figured it out by the context. Let us continue, shall we? If you would, Lamivar. Tell us what you did after your stellar performance.
I did not return backstage after the second set.
You did not return backstage once? Where were you then? What were you doing?
I was cleaning up on stage. No,
There's a concert going on stage.
there are many things I must do for a performance other than simply sing.
And was Machi with you at the time?
Unfortunately, I do not know where he was.
There's so much for an alibi from Machi.
Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there.
With Machi, correct? How was he then?
He seemed as he always does, blind. Though I believe he was shocked by the news of Mr. Latus's death. Yet, he is not the type to show much emotion.
Yeah, he's given to police no end of headaches. He answers most questions with silence, and those glinting frames speak nothing. The questioning hasn't gotten very far. Then why are we having this trial now?
We sat there, waiting. That was where I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details.
Well, it's consistent with what she told us on the day of the crime. Yeah, how was the incident explained to you?
I was told nothing in detail, only that Mr. Latus died.
Of course, investigations require some security.
But Mr. Latus was my manager. I wanted to know more. I should have been told. Both Machi and I were beside ourselves with concern.
Allow me to apologize, but please understand. Keeping you in the dark was as painful for me as it was for you. No, I think it was more painful for her.
Yes, I understand.
Think, what doesn't ring true about her testimony?
It's hard to imagine Lammerwar lying.
She might not be lying, but she's hiding something. What wouldn't she tell me the night of the murder? And that starts over? Crap! So, okay, so we gotta check our evidence then. So, what did she say? As for what I saw nothing. Invited to sing on stage, and this I did. Did not return backstage after the second set. Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. That was where I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details. That's the whole testimony. Okay, so what do we have that contradicts that? Let's take a look at the evidence. Present. We have... That's just the song lyrics. That's probably not relevant yet. Is there anything on here? Sightseeing music. That's probably just going to show the brooch. Oh, maybe the fact the brooch. We found the brooch in the dressing room, so that should tell us, because she had it on stage. Yes, that she had the brooch. Invited on stage. I did not return backstage after the second set. So, we'll present the brooch. You know, actually, let's save right before we do this, just in case we're wrong. Save. And present. Brooch. Yes! I'm sorry, Lammerwar, but I'm having trouble believing you. You remember this brooch, do you not? Why, that's Lammerwar. She was wearing it for her song. Care to add that to the testimony, Prosecutor Gavin? What? This brooch was found after the murder took place. At the very scene of the crime. What? Huh. Lammerwar, I still don't know if I'm saying that right. How did your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? So we got it. All right, let me read a little bit more in the chat now that we've actually made some progress. Extemporaneous says, teaching us with great power comes great responsibility. I guess that makes us Spider-Man. It makes Rukov your Uncle Ben. Extemporaneous says, yeah, I watched in theater with my fam. I was pleasantly surprised. Wait, what are we talking about? Wait, what did you watch in theater with your family? Are we talking about Megamind again? Rukov says, Logan eats food made of edible food. Is that what the ingredients are? X-Ray says, ah yes, the floor here is made of floor. Crap, what is it from? I know that's from something, right? Rukov says, remember, Logan will never hook you into a pyramid scheme, only triangle opportunities. I'm gonna steal a joke from the same friend I talked about from that concert, Sean. He had a great line where he said, it's not a pyramid scheme, it's a pyramid dream. X-Ray says, thank you, Edgeworth Sir, may I have another? I'm reading some more chat. Except says, I think the whole point of Victor is that he didn't name the monster because he didn't want to humanize the monster. Oh, that's an interesting way of looking at it. Oreo said, just finished the second paragraph of the essay. Nice! When is it due? Because you said you got all your homework done, so I'm assuming that you're ahead of schedule on this, right? Except says, applause, yay! Ruka with a shrug. Except says,
Oh, it's about drive. It's about power. It's about, on the rock singing a song. It's about,
oh, and Tiff's here with the Hydrate Command. Thank you so much for the Hydrate Command. Tiff, I appreciate it. How you doing, Tiff? And Tiff, that's pretty good timing because you've skipped over Emma Sky's testimony. So you just missed out on all of that. But yes, and then Jorge says, we stay hungry, we devour. I wish I knew more of the lyrics to that song. Jorge said, I try my best to be situationally aware, but my passive perception is a healthy 10. Wait, that's good, right? 10 is like max, isn't it? Or are we doing a different scale? Is that out of 100 or is that a 10? Except says, violent anime? But what about the opposite? Slice of life. I love slice of life too. There's a slice of life anime. I've been meaning to watch more of it. I watched the first episode of it. And it was really funny. What was it called? It was called like Nishi Joe or something like that. It's this cutesy little slice of life, but it'll get just like crazy intense animation for these sequences. I think I'm probably saying the title wrong. If any of you know it, it's the one where it's of course a bunch of young girls. They're probably like middle school age. One of the characters is a girl that has like one of those wind-up keys on her back that like little robots have.
Logan, passive perception is your perception mod plus 10.
Yes. Oh, what? Oh, so that means that his perception is 0. I don't know D&D rules enough to understand. Oh, so what you're saying is, so out of a roll of 20, so that's like the lowest it can be. I think I understand. I gotcha. I've only played D&D once in the last, like, however many years. It was fun, though, but I had to have everybody just explain, now roll this die. I'm like, it's a this. What does that mean? So I was kind of being...
So that is considered to be the next to worst passive perception.
At least it's only next to worst. So that's fine, then. Thank you for the bit. Huh?
Nichijo. I know that one, it's on Crunchyroll.
Yes!
Also, have you watched Chainsaw Man?
Still not yet. I'm so behind. I've been catching up on anime because part of the problem is also right now, all the new anime have been having their seasons, and I've been catching up on that like all at once. The new season of Bleach, the new season of Mob Psycho 100, the new season of My Hero Academia, like everything was coming out all at once, and so I'm trying to catch up on all the shows that I've been watching first. And I will watch it though. It's on my list. I'll get to it, I promise. But thank you for keeping on my case. Thank you, Rukov and Jorge, for the bits. Let's see. Xebrea says, out of a D20. Rukov said, why are we rolling? Xebrea says, shrugs. Go fish. Jorge says, Xebrea's past perception is based on a 1 through 20, but never changes. So I always roll a 10. There we go. Jorge says, oh dear, I didn't notice much on. And there we go. Okay, I'll read some more in a minute. Let's actually play some more. But Tiff, if you can still hear me in the background, it's good to see you here. I hope the D&D talk didn't scare away a bunch of lurkers. We do play the game, I promise. But again, Tiff, so good to see you. And also, Tiff, is every police officer in this game still have the same, like, MO of Gumshoe? In this one, it's like we found this child on a platform next to the body, and we're like, oh, probably a killer. It's like, how did the child get the body up there? I don't know. He's a murderer. He just does murder things. But I will read some more of the chat in a minute. Here we go. Now, how'd your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? And as Prosecutor Gavin has just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night. What? Oh, was her veil shooting up? What is the meaning of this? Lamoire, please explain. Lamoire, zip-a-pa?
Night Jorge _F_A.
Oh, is Jorge going to bed? Good night, Jorge. Thank you so much for being here. You're awesome. Always a pleasure. Sleep well. I hope you are. I hope you're already mostly over your cold, but if you're not, I hope you continue to get feeling better and that the proper amount of rest and clear fluids and everything help you out. Thank you for being here, Jorge. We'll see you next time. Good night. Sleep well. You're awesome. Good night, Jorge. Bye. And thank you, Rukov, for letting me know that Jorge was going to bed. And thank you for the bit as well. Lamoire? Rado. She says English is quite difficult. Your trick's not gonna work here. Rado. Quote, Your forehead may be large, but you're a lawyer, truly. But you have missed one important fact. What now?
Rada.
In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for a moment. So regardless, it's contradicting your testimony. Every single witness in every one of the cases in this game should be arrested for perjury by the time the case ends. What?
Rada.
Think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak. Is she really saying all that? What's she talking about, Apollo? Right when the incident occurred. Was she talking about that? Wait, what? What happened? Watch this room for me. I have to cover back up. Oh, right, understood. You want me to make sure no one comes in, right? Mr. Latos, can you hear me?
Cold. So cold. Witness.
And again, it's gonna show the witness was Machi because a witness can't see. You're cold, don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Help us on the way.
The witness is...
Oh, they skipped over it this time.
Is Siren.
Siren? How can a siren witness anything? Yipes, Emma, what was that? Well, who's that? Okay, so that we're gonna claim that was... But then it doesn't matter. Okay, A, that shows that she was lying about not going backstage. B, that also shows that she was lying about the fact that she found out from the police that he had died and didn't know anything. She saw the body. She's a lying McLyerson who lies of lying. That's not allowed on the stand. What's wrong? Emma, did you see anyone just now? Huh? No. I could have sworn I heard a door close.
I looked into the room, just a glance, mind you, and took up my brooch and threw it on the floor.
So this was when your brooch dropped? That explains that.
It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it.
Okay, but, and again, more questions because she is hiding something. But why? Machi is clearly innocent. Machi... Why would she be trying to pin the blame on Machi? Either she was involved in the murder. I think it was Darian. Still. But that's ridiculous. You only looked in for an instant, but you dropped your brooch? Hair forehead. Huh? She has raised a possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence. That's the other way around. I raise possibilities and you have to counter them with evidence, you jerk. So she looked into that crime scene.
Actually, I intended to go into the dressing room. I knew nothing of what had happened, of course. But the moment I opened the door, I heard a horrible voice.
Because of my voice, you're gonna claim you were scared of Apollo Justice's voice? Hair forehead shouting, who's there, no doubt. A horrible voice indeed. Arg.
I closed the door immediately.
Okay, so that's her excuse for why she didn't see the body. Well, that explains the brooch. Let's return to your testimony. It's too convenient. She's hiding something. Lammerwar, you did look into the room, though, right?
Yes.
Testify as to what you saw. I heard what happened. Okay, I think that means I need to read the chat. Let me just get to some background music and then I'll check the chat.
Very well, though it was only the briefest of glimpses.
Okay, so let me save and I'll read some more of the chat. Looks like she's just amending her testimony to include more stuff. So I'll read some more of the chat. Rukov says, passive perception is based on passive perception measures the perception skill without rolling any dice. Passive perception is calculated as 10 plus all modifiers that would apply to a rolled perception check for that character, such as the wisdom modifier and proficiency bonus. Wait,
you are accusing Shark Mondo of murder?
I don't want to because I like him, but okay, so Tip, and thank you for the bit. Here is my, oh, and our wristband is glowing, so we're gonna see her probably lying. Okay, so here is my theory right now, Tiff. I think, first of all, the murder did not actually happen when we heard those gunshots. He was shot much earlier, and his body was then abandoned in that room. Machi was the witness that he's talking about because he said, the witness, ... can't see. He wasn't saying the witness, oh, new thought, by the way, I can't see. What's this? He was saying the witness can't see. Lammerwar said that Lammerwar and Machi together are Lammerwar, which means the siren of the ballad. So if he says witness is the siren, the witness can't see, the witness is Machi. Machi was in there. I think whoever the killer was probably was outside that little window, just enough to, like, fire a gun through there. Fired 2 shots, possibly at Machif to try and kill him. He scurries away. He does vent out of there, hence his fingerprints on there. And plus the size, just figured that he'd vented earlier. And that's what happened. There was a whole thing with the sound mixing where Mondo, where Darian missed a cue. I'm thinking because that was earlier in the show, earlier in the set or whatever, that was when he went down and did the killing either himself and then came back and rushed back up and missed the cue, or because the music was blaring in that room, he might have conspired, because Clavier did say he smelled conspiracy. Darian might have conspired with Lamroir to do the killing, and that music blaring over the speaker was the cue to her to fire the shots, to make it sound like that was when the murder took place. So that's a lot of rambling. But does that make sense, Tiff? I don't want to accuse Mondo, because I love his hair. But I think it was either him or him working together with Lamroir. That is my current theory. And honestly, I'm feeling pretty good about this theory. Still have no idea of motive, but they'll probably explain that in the story. Like, oh, they were lovers, and Romain Latouche didn't approve, or some blah, 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 blah crap like that. And of course, it'll somehow tie into her amnesia, and somehow, hopefully, the judge visiting a dying child in the hospital. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to read a little bit more in the chat. Oreo said, well, it's definitely more than 15. Rukov said, we have a character in our party with a passive perception of over 20. So that makes it sound like that you cannot lose a perception check then? Rukov says, range 318. Oh, it's a command. And there's Tiff saying, my stealth isn't that high. Dang. Oh, because Tiff just did a roll. But again, welcome, Tiff. And then Tiff did the Edgeworth objection. There was more I missed. Everybody says Gavin, like, what? Tiff said, but I guess stealthy enough to do this. Surprise objection. Oreo says, I think the essay is due on the 20th, so you got tons of time. Glad to see you working ahead. Whenever I had an essay, I'd always, like, put most of it off to the very last minute. I was the worst procrastinator. I feel like all throughout high school, it would, like, just get later and later and later. Like, it'd get to the point where that by the... at first, like, freshman year, I'm really good. I do it early. Sophomore year, I do it the night before. Junior year, I'm doing it the morning of. Senior year, I'm doing the class period right before. It was awful. Everybody says, there should be an Ace Attorney themed D&D. I bet there probably is, if nothing else, at least some type of homebrewed Ace Attorney tabletop RPG. I bet. See, and Jorge says, okay, sleep time, good night, Jorge, you're probably already gone, but sleep well. I don't know if you can hear me from beyond the Aether, but good night. And Chris says, come on, that's contradictory. Everything she's saying is a lie. Everybody says, Clavier translating is also a bit troublesome from a legal perspective. Who's to say he's translating her words correctly? Oh, that's true as well. If they can't take my word for it, we shouldn't take his word for it. Oreo said, gonna be head to sleep. Night, all have a good stream. Good night, Oreo. Thank you for being here. Sleep well. Thank you for hanging out, and good luck on your essay. Congrats again on getting all your homework done. Good night, Oreo. Okay, I'll be right back to the chat in a bit. Let's actually play some more of the game. So this is when my performance was finished. I went backstage just for a moment. So let's press her on this. What'd you see in that brief glimpse? I had only opened the door slightly when I heard that horrible voice. And shut the door. I have always wondered, Herr Forehead. Does that voice of yours lack a volume knob? It's my cords of steel, man. Just back off. I saw nothing. Oh, crap. Oh, I saw nothing. The late Mr. Latouche's body was behind the wall. Okay, so hang on. Let's save. And that is true. The gunshots were on the same wall by the door, but they were like it would have been over her shoulders, so she might not have seen that. But we might be able to present the evidence of that diagram. Let's take a look at the diagram of the room. Yeah, because the way the door swings open, if it opened all the way, the door would have blocked the view of the gunshot wounds. The door, and yeah, that wall would have blocked Mr. Toulouse's, Romain Toulouse's body. The fact that she knows that, has anyone told her yet where the body? Well, I guess at this. Thank you, Monokuma. I mean, the fact that the fact this is in evidence, she probably had access to it, so she would have known it now. Let's try pressing her on it and see what happens when we press her. A wall? Was there a wall there?
Rada is what in English?
A division or partition, I believe. It was a large dressing room divided into two halves. And yeah, the way the door swings open. Okay, it wouldn't have been able to swing all the way open because the mini fridge is there, but it would have blocked. Well, except where the brooch was in front of there. Yeah, look where the brooch is. It's in front of the mini fridge. And the murder took place in the inside half. Oh, I guess that partition might have hidden the body.
Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there.
Okay, so I think all we can do is... Oh, wait, but I forgot. Our thing is glowing. Our thing is glowing. So let's go all the way around back to the start of her testimony and look to see if she has any weird gesture that she does. Wasn't told the details, blah, blah. Think, what doesn't ring true about a testimony?
It's hard to imagine Lammerwar lying.
She might not be lying, but she's hiding something. Well, wouldn't she tell me the night of the murder? Okay, so let's look for her poker type of tell. Okay, so only thing that's animated is her talking and blinking. Okay, again, just talking and blinking. Just talking and blinking. Now she looks to the side. Is that her tell? I saw nothing. Late Mr. Toulouse's body was behind a wall. Oh no, that's the same animation. Led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. Crap. Okay, so maybe the fact that the wristband is glowing doesn't mean anything. Rewind. I can't rewind? Oh, there we go. Rewound. Let's save and then I guess try and present some evidence, I suppose. Mr. Lou's body was behind a wall, but where the brooch was found was like... The brooch was found right in front of those two X's, which means she should have been able to see the body. Yeah? Well, let's try it. Let's try presenting this piece of evidence we just saved. Let's present it. Objection! And we're getting penalized. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. It does. I don't see anything contradictory. You sure about that? Objection overruled. Try to think before you make accusations, Mr. Justice. Well, that didn't go so well. Okay, so that was not it. The late Latou's body was behind a wall. Let's try and do this thing. See if there's any. I saw nothing. Maybe she like something with her mouth. Oh, she swallowed! She swallowed right there. Perceive. Wait, no, crap. Rewind. I accidentally missed it there. Crap, rewind, go back to the beginning. She was swallowing a bunch during... Here again, we got it. Okay, I saw nothing. And that's on the next line. She'll start swallowing. There we go, perceive. Confirm. Gotcha! Yeah! I hate this play mechanic, but we gotta figure it out. The late Mr. Latouse's body, you say?
Yes.
What's the... I mean, he's not dead yet, but she wouldn't necessarily know that. You know something more about Mr. Latouse's death than you're saying.
What?
I can see you trying not to remember. Oh, but the F had made you swallow. Again, how is the judge allowing this? This is the most BS crap to say in a courtroom. You can't fool my eyes.
It is true. It was so terrible after all. Why did Mr. Latouse have to be shot?
One moment, Lammerwar.
Yes?
What was that you just said? Why did Mr. Latouche have to be shot?
Yes?
She was hiding something, I know it! Lammerwar, I'm afraid you haven't realized it, but, your words just now contradict your testimony. Not necessarily. She said the police didn't tell her any details, but if she was in the audience here in the trial, she would have heard that he was shot with a 45 caliber revolver. Plus, Gavin interviewed her. He might have told her then.
Eh? How could that be?
Take this! Lammerwar contradicted her own testimony, and I have the evidence to prove it. What the, huh? I do? Why did he have to be shot? Maybe this? Okay, it's either the diagram, the fact the gun was definitely behind the wall, or maybe it's the autopsy report? Or maybe it's the fact that no one was allowed to tell her what happened? To ensure the efficiency and secrecy of our investigation, the bearer is hereby ordered to speak to no one outside the investigation concerning any details of the case. Let's do this. Tell me, Lamoire, how'd you know he had been shot? She was watching the trial. Duh. Immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court, no one told me anything about the incident. Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. Yet, you know that Mr. Latouche had been shot. How could you have known? Yo. Yay. We figured out a thing. Lamoire! Well, you aren't hiding something from this court, I hope. Let's save after all that, even though I did take 1 hit point hit. We're doing pretty good. And let me read a little more from the chat. Let's see. Extemporaneous says, Lime McLyerson should be a new DJ name. The problem is that's like an old thing that I tend to do on stream, like back with, especially in our, when we were playing Among Us way back in early pandemic days. Anything that somebody does, it's Word McWorderson. So, Lying McLyerson. If someone's a killer, it's a Killer McKillerson. If someone is the victim, it's a Victim McVictimerson. Oh, that doesn't work. That would probably just be McVictimson. But yeah, I don't know why. But maybe Liar McLyerson. Tiff said, just realized Trucy has the same voice he gave Geen, and that makes me happy. She does. Her voice is getting really kind of a bit more cartoonish as we go. But I'm so glad you like it, Tiff. When are they going to finally release the rest of Your Turn to Die and Deltarune? And plus, I need to go back and do the Hikikomori route in Omori. There's so many like games we're going to have to revisit. Extemporaneous waving at Oreo. Extemporaneous with an emo. Crystal saying lurk art. And thank you for the lurk, Crystal. Enjoy the art. Be sure to post it when you're done. Rukov said, gotta delete that one? Delete which one? Oh, wait. The lurk command? What do you gotta delete? Extemporaneous with the emote. Rukov did the Kadizis the game. Extemporaneous says, the eye of the screen gives me anime vibes. Well, I mean, this game is very heavily anime influenced, so I think that's pretty about right. Chris says, exactly, laughing. Oh, Gallup's here! Saying, oh, that case. With fire in the guitar. Exactly. I'm enjoying this case. Everyone seemed pretty excited for this one. I am liking this one so far. Love Darian Shark Mondo Man's hair. I wish I could have a pompadour like that. But how you doing, Galb? It's good to see you. Papa?
There was a shout out of it saying Rukov starting.
Of it saying Rukov starting? Huh, I must have missed that one. But okay, I will take your word for that. And thank you for the bit. I'll read some more in the chat in a minute. We gotta keep going with this. We're 2.5 hours. We got at least a half hour longer, and it'd be nice if we could make it at least to a really good breaking point, some type of like a recess or something, some of that nature. You aren't hiding something from this court, I hope. Yeah, that sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet. Now I remember. Every freaking time, the witnesses are like, oh, now I remember what really happened. When are we going to stop believing this?
Please, allow me to add to my testimony.
Of course. All we want to know is the truth.
She looks kind of pale, huh?
She saw something, I know it. Even the victim said so.
No, the victim said that Machi was a witness, but didn't see anything. Machi can't see.
I saw bullet holes in the wall and knew Mr. Latouche had been shot.
Okay, now we'll show with the diagram the way the door opened that it would have blocked that, yeah? Let's save, and we're going to press on that statement, and then we're going to present some evidence to show that that's a lie as well. Only a glimpse, yet you knew they were bullet holes. Except her brooch was on the floor in front of it, so it makes sense that she would have seen the bullet holes. All it is that she got into the room more than she's saying she did.
Yes, I recognized them immediately. I have seen bullet holes before, you know.
You have traveled the world as a singer. You must have sung in places far more dangerous than our country.
I go wherever my voice is needed. Those places are many these days.
That's really cool. I hope I get to travel like Lammerwire someday. I want to see bullet holes.
I plan on recording my next album overseas. Their studios have a different sound, you know. I don't know why, but just the fact that he referred overseas. Any of you guys ever watch Metalocalypse? I'm just thinking about how they recorded their album underwater to make it more extreme. Maybe I should go on a Chords of Steel tour too.
Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room.
Let's go back. Saw bullet holes. So now this is going to be where we present the diagram to show that that wouldn't be possible with the way that the door opened, yeah? So let's present diagram.
And we got it.
Lammerwire, they call you the siren of the ballad. Oh, but lies are hardly becoming of such a creature. Put down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice. Actually, it's not. Why would lies be unbecoming of a siren? A siren lures sailors out to sea to kill them on rocks that tear apart their ship. I don't think dishonesty is beneath them.
Such put-downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo.
Stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character, Ja. Oh, come on. Can't I be cool for once? Observe the diagram. Lammerwire, you looked in from the door for just a moment. Correct.
Yes, that is so.
There were bullet holes in the room, yes. But they were in the wall the door is on. You see, assuming you merely glanced into the room, you couldn't have seen those bullet holes.
Yuck.
Lammerwire?
Yes?
I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something.
And I must tell you? I must tell you what it is that I saw?
Yes. The happenings in this trial are being recorded. And I'm certain it will be on the news in Borginia. You understand your reputation is at stake. It falls to you to avoid tarnishing it. Oh, is it because she's like technically an ambassador, so she has diplomatic immunity from perjury, so it's like can't get her on that. But if she's got diplomatic immunity, then even if she did conspire with Darian to commit the murder, is she still gonna get off scot-free? Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-examining her will yield us absolutely nothing. But she knew how Mr. Toast died, and he named her as a witness. He must have seen something, Lammerwire. I'm guessing that Machi told her. I mean, Machi didn't see the bullet holes, but Machi heard the gun go off. Very well. Lammerwire, please continue your testimony.
Very well, I shall.
What I saw, part 2.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it.
Oh, so she's gonna claim she was at the... But then how did Brooch get in the room? That doesn't explain diddly crap.
There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop.
Oh, so she's gonna say then she ran around the room, opened the door, and that's when the brooch fell in.
But it wasn't Machi. It was a grown person. I know it was.
Oh, okay, well, that's good. Why didn't you say this sooner that you know it wasn't Machi? So you did witness the crime. And the killer was a grown person, you say? Ah, this is my first time hearing this, I assure you. So why would she not want to say this? Nice play here, forehead. Complimented me. Very well here, Mr. Justice. You may begin your cross-examination.
Great going, Apollo. You were right about Lammerwire. What's wrong? You don't look too happy.
This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong.
Huh?
What I saw, part 2. All right, we'll save before the cross-examination. Also going to read a little bit more in the chat. Let's go ahead and save. Save. And back here. All right, so where'd I leave off in the chat? Crystal says Gallop Crush. Yup. Exterminator says contradict. A defense attorney's favorite word. Second only to contradiction. Although I guess those are kind of the same word. Gallop says, so no spoilers for me. Well, thank you, Gallop. I appreciate it, because I know you've played a bunch of the Ace Attorney games as well over on your streams. This is, of course, a blind playthrough. I have my theory, but we're going in blind here. Crystal says, Hikikomori, yes! The only thing I worry about doing a Hikikomori run is if a lot of it's going to be the repeat, we're just being like, okay, now we got to go do this. We got to run through this. Like, it might not be as fun if we're not discovering. I guess you guys haven't, but I enjoy discovering stuff for the first time. Except for it says, Judge looking like, oh? Let's see. Rukov says, just on the screen. Oh, okay. Crystal says, yeah, it was a quiet scream. Xavier says, that was kind of funny. Chris says, laughing, clavier. Gallop Crush with the lurk. Thank you for the lurk, Gallop Crush. Xavier says, what I saw too, the squeakquel. I love doing it that way, because it used to be, the big one everyone always do is something 2 Electric Boogaloo, right? Because that was the whole thing with the movie Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. But now I hear people do it for the squeakquel, and I kind of love that even more. And Crystal, if you're still out there lurking, doing your art, I just caught up in the chat. But thank you very much again for the lurk, Gallop. All right, back to the game.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit.
So you were heading toward the dressing room?
Yes.
So this is a little before she opened the dressing room door and dropped her brooch. About the same time, Emma and I heard those shots.
I was on my way back. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it.
What exactly is something like a little window?
Yes, well, window is the best word I know in English. I think this is how it is said, yes.
You need not worry, Lemeva. Your choice of words is impeccable. There is a small window in the dressing room in question. Perhaps the defense remembers this detail. That little window on the wall.
I saw the crime from there. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it.
You were certain you heard 2 shots fired?
Yes, quite certain. I was on my way to the backstage exit. This was when I heard a faint sound like a gunshot. Wondering what it had been, I peered in through the window. That is when I heard the second gunshot, much closer.
Much closer? And there were 2 bullet holes at the scene. No contradictions so far. Huh?
Good night, chat. Please remember that you are valued and loved.
Good night, Rukov. Thank you for being here and explaining the chaos of all the fancy writing and everything. Sleep well. As always, if you can't sleep, feel free to come back. Good night, Rukov. Thank you for the bit. You're awesome, man.
It all happened on the other side of that window. There was nothing I could do. But it wasn't Machi. It was a grown person. I know it was.
Oh, wait, I gotta go back to it wasn't Machi. He's probably gonna say, how did you know? And then he'll just go on to the next one. It wasn't Machi who shot. Are you sure?
Yes, quite certain.
It amuses me that you would question her testimony. It is testimony in your favor. Isn't it my job to object? Yeah, Paula, what are you thinking? Trucy, let's just listen to what Lamawar has to say. Can you tell me how you were so sure?
Yes, of course. You see, ... It was a grown person. I know it was.
A grown person? That's a little vague.
I am sorry. My skill with your language is lacking, I know.
Certainly, you could at least see whether the shooter was male or female.
It was a man. A young man.
So again, we're looking at Shark Mondo. Except I still don't think that's when the murder took place. I think he was shot previously, and then the other two gunfires were what alerted us. So she is still lying, I think. I could be wrong though. And you're sure of that?
Yes, his voice was quite clear.
Voice? Looking at this diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely that you would have likely that you wouldn't have had a clear view of the shooter.
As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I heard the voice, I do not forget it.
Well, then why are we not, like, getting a whole bunch of people to talk and say things, have her listen, and then we'll drop charges against Machi, because it's all stupid?
That voice was the voice of a man.
So you heard the voice, but wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Latouche?
Absolutely not. Did I not just say that I do not forget a voice? If it was Mr. Latouche who spoke, I would have known.
Indeed. So you were at the window and you heard the shooter's voice? The voice of a young man?
Apollo, this is good testimony. That proves it wasn't Machi.
Yeah, but Apollo doesn't trust it. Something's wrong with this.
Indeed.
If this turns out to be true, it would cast this case in a considerably different light. What is the defense's opinion of this testimony? Save. The fact they're giving me this option means there must be something contradictory. But what? What would be contradictory to all of that? So, okay, we got the lyric sheet, we have the postcard, we have the gag order, the gun, the brooch. I mean, so we're gonna assume then that she saw that, ran around, came back in through the door, and that's how her brooch fell? The sound mixer, the keys, the autopsy report, being shot. I mean, is it just me, or is him being so close to the wall? Something's wrong about this. Something's contradictory, but what? Okay, I think we just saved, right? If not, let's save again just to be sure. And we're gonna say it's contradictory. The game is obviously leaning me towards saying it's contradictory. Though it pains me to say this. There's something about Lamoir's testimony that rings false. Bravo, Hair Forehead. You're colder than I thought. I'm sure you remember what the problem is as well as I do, Gavin. As has been established, no grown man could pass through that air vent. Oh, there we go. He couldn't have fled the scene of the crime. I completely forgot about that.
But that means Lamoir has to be lying.
I know, and I know it's bad for our case, but I can't shut my eyes to this. Oh, believe me, the idea was tempting. It is as Hair Forehead says. Yet this is not the only contradiction within her testimony. What? What's next? What's he talking about? Let me voir. I understand why you would want to protect Machi. Yet remember, you are the siren of the ballad, and lies do not become such a creature. He's using my words against. Let me guess, everybody's gonna be like, oh, it's so cool when Clavier says it. What does the prosecution mean?
Apollo! What's he talking about?
How come no one bats an eye when he says stuff like that? I recall the state of the crime scene quite well. The state of the room? The room where it happened? The room where it happened? Yes, and when the murder took place. That window was closed. Was it, like, clouded glass? I find it hard to believe you could hear a voice through it. Oh, okay. That's what she's saying. What he's saying.
What? But I'm sure.
Let me voir. I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical taste. But mine opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser. But she's the only eyewitness we have. So you say, and the victim named her, the siren, as the witness? That's right, that's what Mr. Latouche. We heard your claim, we even entertained the possibility, and it brought us to this. Herr Judge! Yes? The prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please. I'm afraid I must honor the prosecution's request. Well, why? There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility. But if Lamoir can't testify,
we don't have a chance at proving Machi's innocence.
This cross-examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case. Danke. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, I would like to hear from Fräulein Detective again. Wait, let me hear Lamoir's testimony one last time. I already banged my gavel. But the cross-examination's already over. Until such a time as need arises, this witness may leave the stand.
I'm sorry, I could not be of more assistance.
Okay, so now we're going back to Emma Skye. Is Tiff still here? If so, Tiff, I'm sorry, you're gonna be seeing some Emma. At last, back to the real trial. Let's save again. Let's see, anything else going on in the chat? Let's see. Rukov said, is one of the commands created from F symbols? Oh, okay. Chris says, you catch up? Impossible! Extempore says, is in shock. Extempore says, good night, Rukov. Chris says, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine? I want it that way. Well, I mean, that's not where the song originally came from. But yeah, from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, they did it. Chris says, also, bye-bye, Rukov. Extempore says, I'm always reminded of the scene with the 5 suspects. You were talking about the one where they sing the Backstreet Boys song, where they're doing like the police line. Oh, that's what you're saying. So doing like that scene, so it's not like the song, you're saying like doing like the scene in Brooklyn Nine-Nine where you hear them say, so you're hearing them saying, I got you. Yes, sorry. Brain fart. I get what you're saying now, Crystal. Yes, exactly like that scene. And just like that scene, it should involve Apollo singing. Be fun. At last, back to the real trial. Ready, Herr Forehead? Grr, I hope I didn't just miss my only chance. Fräulein Detective, how far had we gotten until we were so rudely interrupted? Don't ask me. I dislike saying the same thing twice. And I never repeat a song for an encore. If you would, Miss Skye, I'm pretty sure he played Guilty Love twice during that concert. Or maybe because it wasn't for an encore, that makes it okay. Humph. I believe I was saying that the only way Mr. Latouse's killer could have escaped was through that air vent on the ceiling. Ah, yes, there was only one door in the room. And a witness, you were standing in front of it. That air vent isn't very big, see? Kind of limits the people who could possibly get through. I certainly would have a difficult time. You sure would. Not that you'd have been there in the first place, though. Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved with the concert. The only one who meets the conditions for our killer is the defendant. A virtuoso performance. I couldn't have put it better myself. She does state a clear case. Though reading the report, something caught my eye. Oh, what is it? The circumstances of the defendant's arrest. The circumstances again?
Hey, that's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Machi? That was bizarre.
She's right. Why did Mr. Latouse's body disappear from the room? And end up on top of that stage tower? Holding a guitar, no less. A perceptive observation, Herr Judge. Yeah, no, thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But you work in this job long enough, ... You get a nose for things.
The judge sure seems pleased with himself.
Very good, Fräulein Detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us. Why was the body moved? And how does that lead us to the killer? Well, I mean, the reason the body was moved is because somehow the killer was obsessed with mimicking the stuff in those song lyrics, for one thing. The missing body. I believe Machi stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match Lamoir's song. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim. And Machi practically left his signature at the scene. All of this evidence clearly points to the defendant. Okay, so the signature is going to be his fingerprints, right? Lamoir's song? Yeah, the guitar's serenade. You noticed it's code too, did you not? It's code? All the events that day followed the lyrics to our song. Oh crap, we gotta hear this song again. First, the keys my heart held on to so tightly were stolen. Why are we skipping over to the second verse already? Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames on stage. Mr. Toulouse's life was taken by a bullet. The rest hardly needs explanation. Guitar, guitar, up together in the sky. Hang on, we gotta take a look at those lyrics again because we're skipping over an entire section of the song. Pleasure, pleasure, but a fleeting melody. It wraps itself around me, and now through the air I fly. So that's Lamoir, right? Because she flew through the air in the song. So is she planning to do the deed? I don't know. Let's keep going. That's mad! It's like a story out of some fairy tale. Fairy tales scare me. I admit I'd forgotten about the song. But there it is now, waiting for me, the grand finale, as it were.
Hey, you know I was the one who first noticed that, huh?
I've heard of jumping rope to songs and counting to songs, but killing! It's a wild world out there, Herr Judge. Very well. We've heard the one song and dance. Let's go on to the next, the cross-examination. I'm not sure I'm gonna be doing much singing. The missing body. Let's go ahead and save before we do the cross-examination. As always, we're going to press on every single statement. Let me catch up a little bit in the chat again. I think most people are asleep, so I should be able to catch up all the way again, probably. Let's see. Crystal laughing extemporaneous. Everybody says, Clavier's necklace reminds me of the Gru symbol from Despicable Me. Chris goes, tell me why. I wish I knew the words. What is the next song? Ain't nothing but a heart. Is that ain't nothing but a heartache? Chris says, ooh, agreed, extemporaneous. Extemporaneous says, exactly. I knew I wasn't the only one to see it. Chris says, all raid suggestions. Careless the Stray. Sarah Bro Seth, in case I accidentally sleep. That happened multiple times before. I appreciate you always being like the MVP with these raid suggestions, Crystal. Let me copy these down into a text file so I'll have access to both of them. So thank you very much. It looks like the raid will probably be a little bit smaller tonight than usual. It is a sleepy night. I wonder if something else was going on tonight. Except it says, sleep, Logan lullaby. What would you guys want me to sing to you for a lullaby to lull you all to sleep? I believe Machi stole the body because of some lyrics. Who would steal a body just to match some lyrics? I didn't believe it myself, but it can't just be a coincidence. It is as Fräulein Detective says. Let us begin with the first verse, if you would, Fräulein. No, we don't have to do this all over again. What? You want me to sing it? You are the witness, yeah? Or did you want me to sing? I warn you, my fee as a vocalist is not trivial. Fine, fine, Oh, she's actually gonna sing it, not just read him? Let's look at the first part of the lyrics, shall we? Oh, I'm gonna sing this. When you stole away the keys, my heart held under so tight. I don't know the actual melody here. Indeed, my favorite heart-shaped keyring was stolen that morning. Next, we go to the right page of the lyrics sheet, where we find, burning on in my heart, fire, burning my love away, all away. Oh, we get to see the animation again! As we know, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. Like a bullet of love, fire, take my life away, all away. Mr. Latusa's life was taken by a bullet. Bravo, Fräulein, your singing, it's not bad. Now for the finale. Guitar, 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 up together to the sky. As it says in the lyrics, Mr. Latus. Was found with the guitar high in the sky over the stage. No series of coincidences could be so well conceived. He's right, scientifically speaking. What would Walkie have said? That concert was whack. At least Walkie still is in our memories.
It's hard to argue when she pours her heart into it like that.
Anyway, the shooter, He moved the body to match Lamoir's song. Please don't make us sing it all over again just because I'm pressing you on this. Does the prosecution have any idea why he'd do all this? You want my scientific opinion? Quote, no clue, end quote. But he clearly had a reason to go through all of that trouble. Some deep reason. A deep reason? Not only did he steal my keys, he torched my guitar. Unforgivable acts, even if he had a reason, and worse if he had none. I think the murder is a bit more unforgivable than stealing your keys and breaking your guitar, bro. The Diva's complaints aside, I can't imagine someone doing this on just a whim. At least you call him the Diva instead of a glimmerous fop again. Fräulein Detective, I take offense to that description. Sorry, he was getting a little Von Karma in his voice there. Indeed, it does seem too well rehearsed, shall we say? Yes, this crime was planned for sure. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim. Mr. Latou spoke English. He may have come to this country before. I looked into that, I assure you. Oh? It was his first time in the country, it seems. Doesn't matter if it was his first time in the country. Oh, but this also has to do with Darien. Wasn't he like, he was some type of an ambassador to Borginia? So even if Latouche hadn't been to Japanifornia before, Darien had been to Borginia before. So it's gonna be Darien. It was his first time in the country, it seems. Apparently, he learned English on his own. Oh, great. You see? No one here had a motive to kill him, and certainly not in such an elaborate fashion. It does seem difficult to imagine. Unless our famous prosecutor did it as a publicity stunt. What did you say? Prosecutor Gavin! You did this to promote your song? Guilty. Guilty. Of course not, and I am quite dismayed by the ludicrous nature of her claims. Why would I need promotion? Everyone already listens to my music. They're even in my textbook at school, what? And I'd never heard of them. What does that say about me? I was just kidding. Don't get all worked up, Glimmer Boy. Fop. And Machi practically left his signature at the scene. It's gonna be the fingerprints, right? What do you mean by his signature? The bullet holes in the wall, of course. The bullet holes? But can't we just, like, say he's a child? How would he fire the 45 like that? The revolver was fired twice. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall. And that means what exactly? That dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing off with the victim in there. They can't have been more than 5 feet apart. Well, then shouldn't we also have found, like, over there gunpowder marks on the twos to corroborate this? It would be difficult, almost impossible to miss at that range. Difficult to miss, you say? Very. Assuming the shooter could properly aim. Why have we not brought up the fact that he's blind yet? I didn't even think of this. Why didn't I think of this? We're talking about a blind child firing a gun. And it's only just now that Emma's bringing it up. It wouldn't be so bad, except that I didn't even think of this. Oh my gosh. Assuming the shooter could properly aim. But let me guess, it's going to end up being that just like Lamoureux actually does speak English, it's probably going to turn out that Machi actually can see. Oh boy. No, oh, you can't be serious. Machi, he can't see. That's why he missed? It's the only explanation that makes sense. Oh, wait, she's using it to cast aspersions on Machi, to blame and to make us think that Machi is the killer because one of the bullets missed? No! No! I honestly think, again, if those 2 shots were actually fired at that, if the murder did take place at that time, I still don't think so. I think it was killed earlier and dragged in there. But I think that those shots was a person maybe firing at Machi and missing because he's such a little guy. He's so tiny. Oh my gosh. He used sound and other senses to fire the gun. Poorly. It reminds me the monitor in that room was blaring at the time, yeah. Hardly ideal conditions for tracking by sound. A blind shooter? No wonder he missed. Oh, I knew those bullet holes would come back to haunt me. Oh, think justice. What do I do now? Do I have any objection over that? Let's see, raise an objection. What would I present as an objection? The fact that he fired blind. I mean, we could say that the lyrics are not in Braille. Although he probably would have heard the song at least. What else could there be? I think this is a thing. He clearly wrote a message in his blood and it smeared out. And that right there should say, well, it wasn't the blind guy. Because the blind guy wouldn't have been able to see the message and go, oh, we can't have that being seen and smudgy it. But what would... Okay, we did save, I think. I don't think I have an objection to raise. So I guess we'll just sit back and watch. Let's try that. He couldn't see, so the first shot missed. As explanations go, it's airtight. It appears the shooter did leave his signature. I'm afraid this is looking bad for our young defendant. The witness may continue with her testimony. You got it. All of this evidence clearly points to the defendant. But you can't say that for sure. Please, none of those non-scientific objections. They're bad for my complexion. What's so scientific about a murder to lyrics? Lyrics can be explained scientifically. Never underestimate the power of science! Put that bottle of fingerprint powder down before you hurt someone like me. Okay, then explain it scientifically. I require more data. Likely story.
This doesn't look so good, does it, Apollo?
No, it doesn't. What do we do? Well, first, we don't panic. Even though Machi's case is leaking water by the gallon. Oh, Gavin's on a roll, and it's up to me to stop him. Okay, so in that case, it's got to be the fingerprints thing. The signature. We got to figure this. I know we're past the 3-hour mark, but we got to figure this out before we go. Okay, so what would be the objection to this? Practically left his signature, and it's going to be and we'll go through that again. It's the fact that he's blind, missed the shot. So what would be evidence to go against that? It could be the fact that these lyrics aren't in Braille, but he would have heard the song. So I don't think it's that. I don't think it's the publicity postcard. The investigation request, no. The revolver, deadly high caliber. I mean, the fact that a child would probably break his arm if he fired this. We could try presenting this as evidence. The brooch found at the crime scene turns out belongs to Lamoire. Probably not that. The mixing board, probably not that. The keys, probably not that. Latusa's autopsy report. Was there anything else in there? Between the blood loss, 40 caliber bullet wound. Time elapsed currently under review. Victim shot in the shoulder. Lamoire's room touched the check button for details. I mean, he's shot in the back. That might have something to do with it. Evidence for prosecutor Gavin. And that's it. That loops back around. The only thing I can think of is to try and present... Only two things I can think of is the gun or the lyrics. The lyrics being in Braille, that shouldn't matter. But the gun, I guess we can try the gun that's 45 caliber. So let's try this. We'll press and see if we can once again get to where we get the option to raise an objection. And we're just going to try it. While we're going through all this again, I guess we might as well catch up a little bit more in the chat again. So let me scroll back up and see extemporaneous said, oh, I already read that. Chris said, no need for singing. Logan's voice is enough for me to get sleepy. I don't know if that's a good thing. Jorge says the same thing. That I put y'all to sleep? Is it just that I try and be a soothing, quiet voice to lull you off into dreamland, laying down on your pillow, your head enveloped by the soft, downy cotton, your eyes becoming heavy, sealed tight with fatigue as you drift off into unconsciousness. Something like that? Extemporaneous says, scientifically speaking. See, Crystal posted all the social media links. And, see, Extemporaneous saying, what would be the modern day equivalent of Clavier be? Justin Bieber, Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks? What would he be? That's a good question. I'd have to think about it. Maybe The Weeknd? I don't know. Fire the gun. Poorly. Reminds me the monitor of the room was blaring at the time. Hardly idea if it was a blind shooter. No wonder he missed. Okay, well, we gotta raise an objection. We have to raise an objection. Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. Huh. But that doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see. I mean, that is true. Oh, how so? Well, there could have been a struggle with the victim. That's certainly possible. And it might have been the revolver's fault. The revolver? Oh, apparently I don't even need to provide evidence. The game just autopilots it. Revolver was very large caliber, correct? If the shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon, oh, why it could dislocate the shoulder. Exactly. The defendant, Machi Tobai, is, as you can see, tiny. It's not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would throw off his aim. Why are they all silent? Silent usually means I screwed up. Convincing argument to be sure. Ha-ha! Take that, smug prosecution. So I should have just objected and let the game handle it.
Apollo?
Huh? What?
That bit about Machi being tiny. And the gun throwing off his...
Oh, crap. It, like, further implicates him as the killer.
Aren't you kind of, admitting that he did it?
Oh! It does not matter why he missed.
What matters is that the shooter was, without a doubt, the defendant.
Even the defense seems to agree on that point. Yark! Cripes! Oh, I really put my foot in it this time.
But let's get the facts of the matter on the record. If you would, Fräulein Detective.
Yeah, very well. The witness will add this to her testimony. Okay, so we actually made progress. Added some of the testimony. Right. From the state of the crime scene, I conclude the shooter was blind. Okay, so we can save. We're going to press on that statement, and we'll find some fault in this somehow. Press. You can't say he was blind just because of those bullet holes in the wall. I think I've proven that.
I wouldn't call it proof per se.
Huh?
You've merely raised a possibility.
Well, that proves that it's possible he wasn't blind.
A Fräulein Detective has made a most logical conjecture based upon the evidence. Of course, there's more evidence than just bullet holes.
Huh?
The defendant was the only one who could have escaped through the air vent.
Huh? But wait, if he was blind, how would he know about the air vent in the first place?
Ah, a very good point. Well, Fräulein Detective, if you would care to explain.
Certainly seems sure of himself.
Recall the crime scene if you would. There was a stepladder below the air vent. As it happens, maintenance was scheduled for that day. Custodial staff went around checking all the air vents.
I don't believe it.
Everyone backstage was told about the maintenance, including Machi Tobai. He would have known that there would be a way out at the top of the stepladder.
But that's... Oh, why is this the first time I'm hearing about this? Everything today is the first time you're hearing about it. You did zero preparation, bro.
You could have figured it out for yourself. You only needed to consider what that stepladder was doing there.
Well, looks like the defense's objection has been squished by a stepladder.
Well, Herr Forehead, out of ammunition, perhaps?
I've never seen Prosecutor Gavin so aggressive. Maybe he's caught the scent of blood.
Apollo, don't you have something, anything? You know what we need? We need something to prove the killer could see. That'll put him in his place.
Proving the shooter was sighted would do it. Oh, that would take down one of the central points. Do I have any evidence that can prove that, though? I've got just the thing, no such luck. What evidence do we have that the killer had sight? Return to the title screen. No, let's look at our evidence. Can we examine the gun? Was there anything that we looked at with the gun? There was... I mean, we already looked at the barrel. I mean, what about the fact that he had fingerprints on the air vent but not on the gun? Crap, no, okay, nothing with the gun. The brooch, the sound mixer, the keys. Wait, hang on, with the keys. I mean, there's a fact that one of the keys looks like a guitar, so that's the only way the killer would have known which was the guitar case, but I mean, he probably could have felt, oh, this one's a guitar, or just tried all three keys, so that might not necessarily have done it. I think this should be it, the fact that the killer smudged out whatever message it is he wrote. Maybe the fact that he was shot in the back? Is there anything in here? The fact that the killer would have had to maybe duck and dodge around all the furniture to get over there? Crap. We've got to have an objection, though. There's got to be something here. Save. And we're just going to try some stuff. And we're going to lose hit points. And we're probably going to die. You're going to witness Apollo get murdered. I've got just the thing. Fine, I accept the prosecution's challenge. As I know you would, Herr Forehead. What exactly am I up against here? The prosecution is saying the shooter missed because he or she couldn't see. Therefore, Machi, who's blind, did it. The defense will please present their evidence. Evidence that overturns the prosecution's claim the shooter couldn't see. Okay, all the options I can think of are either the song lyrics, because you have to read them, but again, he could have heard them. The keys, the fact the key is shaped like a guitar, and being shot in the back. Those are the only 3 things I can possibly think of. I would do the fact that the message is smudged out, but we haven't even addressed the fact that it looks like a message was written in the first place. And the keys were in his hand. Let's try the keys. We're gonna take a penalty. We're taking a penalty. I'm not sure that overturns anything, Mr. Justice. Wrong evidence, I'm guessing. Apparently both love and justice are blind. I have to think. There must be something, anything.
This doesn't look so good, does it, Apollo?
No, it doesn't.
What do we do?
First, we don't panic. Okay, crap. Now we gotta go all the way through that again and get back to that point and object. Okay. No one in the country could motive to kill the victim. Machi practice. You know what? Let's just reload. It'll be faster to get there that way. So let's return to the title instead of having to go through all that again. Okay, continue. Okay, so we gotta try and present some other piece of evidence. I've got just the thing. Fine, I accept the prosecution's challenge. Knew you would, hair, forehead. What exactly am I up against here? Prosecution saying the shooter missed because he or she couldn't see. Therefore, Machi, who's blind, did it. The defense will please present their evidence. Blah, 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 blah. Evidence overturns the prosecution's claim that the shooter couldn't see. Let's try the photo now. Let's try this one. Oh, finally. This is that evidence. Okay, let me read a little bit in the chat, by the way. Chris says, you just realized that, Logan? I'm not. This game makes me sometimes feel smart, sometimes makes me feel so stupid. Chris said, don't do that. I'll definitely sleep to that voice. What, is that what you want? Do you want to sleep or do you want to be awake? Except says, Clavier is a diva, as Emma says. Chris is laughing. Except says, oof, when your defense lawyer admits you did it. Chris says, man, poor guy. Except says, objection, the imposter could escape through the air vents easily. That's right. He was an imposter, not my client. This is that evidence. The photograph of the crime scene. I don't care much for the smirk on Prosecutor Gavin's face. But there's no time to think twice. Time to press on. Let's also save again in case we have to, like, point to the part of the photo that is the evidence, and I don't want to screw up on that. Huh! Yes, Your Honor, the crime scene! There is something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point. Then perhaps you'd best show us this something. Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, yeah? Very well, show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice. Okay, save again, right here. That way we can reload if we need to. The contradiction at the scene of the crime is... Okay, it should be this, a smeared message. But it might also be that he was shot in the back somehow. Meaning, implying that he kind of snuck up on him, maybe? Let's try this first, though. The contradiction is right here. Crap, it's wrong, isn't it? The smeared bloodstain. Oh, maybe it's right. The smeared bloodstains. I thought it was just my blurry vision, but it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head, much like a gesture I've seen many times in this court. It's almost as if he wrote something. Aha, I get it. At least I think I get it. Get what, Fräulein? When Mr. Latouche was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write but the shooter's name? And what would he write it in but his own blood? Pretty good, huh? Oh, thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here. Oh, that does seem to be a distinct possibility. The victim wrote the killer's name? That's certainly a logical conclusion. Drat, I just wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that. Of course it's rubbed out. Why, if I were the killer and I saw it with my fully functioning eyeballs, wait a second! I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind. Neither would I. Come on, somebody understand what just happened. Somebody put two and two together. No one has anything else to say? No? About what? So, the prosecution accepts this? You agree this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer? And that the killer tried to rub the name out? What's your point? What's my point? Let me ask you this. How'd the killer know the victim was writing the name? Well, Mr. Latouche was writing something in blood once the killer saw what it was. Wait. Oh, wait, wow, the game is really lagging. Oh, crap. I didn't see what the judge said or something. Of course, I don't know. Everything just lagged. But what did you just testify about the shooter?
I said they were blind.
Huh, yes, the crime scene itself contradicts that. The killer had to have been able to see. Why would they rub out their name in blood otherwise? May I remind the court that the defendant, Maki Tobai, is blind. He couldn't have been the shooter. I still think it's going to turn out that he actually could see, and that's how we're going to get, like, knocked down a peg for this next section. That it's all just a sham, much like What's-Her-Face being able to speak English.
Impossibly!
Order! 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 Prosecutor Gavin, please explain to me what all this means! I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear the shooter could see. Yet up until now. Huh? It seems I owe the court an apology. Oh, crap. Is he going to say that he stepped on it and smeared it and that it said Machi? The governors are banned with law enforcement ties, yet a murder occurred. During our concert, apparently, this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner. I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here.
Hey, Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't? He's about to tell us?
I've got an idea. Let's rock! This is documents! But before that, I have a question for the Fräulein detective, if I may. What? Tell me, why do you think that Maki Tobai is blind? It's gonna be because we were told, and so we have no evidence of that. Huh? What did he say? Okay, if we get to a cliffhanger where he's like, he's not blind, that'll be a great point to wind down the stream for the evening. What are you saying? Of course he's blind. Of course. He's the blind pianist with a T, right? So he's... Doesn't Lammerwire lead him around by the hand all the time? Oh, no way. I have a report here on the defendant, Maki Tobai. According to this, Maki Tobai can see perfectly well. What? His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Borginians. And that is our cliffhanger for the night, I think. If anyone is still lurking, by the way, I know that a lot of people kind of went to bed early tonight. If anyone's still lurking, if you could stick around for a raid, we're going to do a raid in just a minute. I would be like super, super grateful to you, and I would really, really appreciate it. But we're going to go ahead and catch up in the chat, and we're going to see who we want to raid, which of the suggestions we got are going to have the fewest viewers and so forth. But also just to let anyone who's lurking know, the info on the stream, we stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. We're currently alternating between two games. One is this, and the next one is one we're going to be starting on Thursday night, because tomorrow's Wednesday, no stream Wednesday, and that's going to be a game called One Shot. I've been hearing nothing but good stuff about, so that should be a lot of fun. Let me see what I missed out on the chat, and I'll catch up here. Actually, let me initiate the raid first. We got Careless Astray playing Corpse Party, and Sir Broseph playing Omori. Careless Astray, I think, was that someone we were supposed to raid? Might have been supposed to raid this person before, so let's do that as a raid. They both have 5. Oh, crap. Actually, we might want to just wind down. I don't know if we want to wind down, not do a raid. As soon as I said I'm winding down, the lurkers start jumping ship. We're down to 4 people. I guess that still could be a raid. I just feel like once they're under 5, it's almost like, why bother even doing the raid? It's almost like, are we really helping the people? Let me catch up in the chat here. Let's see. See, man, poor guy. Except says, oh, I already read that. Except says, Logan, you going through the classic AA tried and true strategy. When in doubt, present it all out. I love how everyone's just like, what's your point? Chris says, laughing, exactly, Emma. And there's all the social media links. And the raid command said, yep, we were supposed to raid them. Well, let's... You know, I think instead of that, because I want to give a good raid to someone. I don't want to ever, especially don't want to ever give a raid to someone where it's like that many fewer viewers than they have. So we're going to instead do a raid for our good buddy AJ, who has only 1 viewer. And I'm sorry, we're going to wait on Careless Astray for another time. I'm sorry we keep postponing it. So we're going to do a raid for AJ, as long as it populates up to all 4. If it doesn't, we're just going to cancel the raid and just like wind down. Let's see. It said, oh, also the schedule ain't up to. Oh crap! I forgot to update the schedule. Thank you so much for the reminder, Crystal. I'm not doing well on anything tonight, but yeah, it's kind of a shame that so many people, I guess, were sleeping. I hope it's not that, like Rukov was saying, that I had the audio too loud, and it was like blowing me out and you couldn't hear it. But thank you for everyone who was here. And for everyone who stuck around, which is mostly at this point Crystal and Extemporaneous, you two are the MVPs, but also just everyone who's here. Even if you had to leave and get some sleep, I still appreciate all of you. So thank you so much for hanging out. And Chris says bye-bye. Nah, the audio was perfect. Well, I thought Rukov said that it was, the background was too loud and you couldn't hear me. Was that a mistake? Was Rukov mistaken? Anyway, Extemporaneous says facts. Okay, well anyway, I'm gonna just initiate the raid before anybody has a chance to leave so we can give AJ some viewers. Enjoy the raid. Sleep well. Good night, everybody. And we'll see you on Thursday for some one-shot. You guys are awesome. Sleep well. Good night, everybody. Bye. Enjoy the raid. Have a good night. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, everybody. Bye. And for those watching the VOD, good night as well.